Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Hokage, Konoha no Revenge from Becoming Naruto. Chapter 1. It's so boring, this world. Looking at the sky outside the window, Chuyun said with a sigh. The real world brings too much pressure to people, and there are too many problems in this society. I don't know when, the people of his generation began to advocate the mourning culture, the misunderstanding of parents, the targeting of teachers, the deception of classmates, the pressure of life, and the distorted love life seemed to be more tired than the previous generation. The improvement of living standards brings not only a comfortable life, but also greater pressure. That's why I like two-dimensional. The pure love, precious friendship, and harmonious family really make me envious. If possible, I believe many people would like to live in two-dimensional, right? Chuyun smiled. Not only yearning for two-dimensional, even if it is not afraid of pain, there may not be people in this world who would choose to commit suicide. Oh no, not even for the sake of my parents. Chuyun shook his head and stood up to leave when suddenly. What is that? Chuyun's eyes flashed, and there seemed to be a red light rushing towards him in the sky. He didn't know how his myopic eyes could observe this speed, which was obviously invisible to the naked eye, but he could see very clearly. That is to say, I encountered a supernormal event. It's really interesting. The corner of Chuyun's mouth twitched into a smile, and the excitement in his eyes was beyond words. Lingbao, cultivation technique, inheritance, portable space, system. Along with Chuyun's last sentence, a red light quickly penetrated between his eyebrows and merged into it. At this time, the clock on the wall just stopped in the direction of 12 o'clock, and then stopped. HMPH, if it weren't for the third generation, I really don't want to save this monster. Yeah, I don't know what the 3 generations of adults think, this kind of monster should be left to fend for itself. If it wasn't for the order of the 3 generations, I really wanted to kill him and avenge my dead man. The chattering noise made Chuyun frown. 3 generations. What 3 generations? Which 3 generations? Where is this place? I remember that I seem to have encountered a supernatural event. That red light seems to have taken my soul away. In doubt, Chuyun slowly opened his eyes, and what he saw was a white wall, surrounded by a pungent smell of potion. Hospital. Chuyun subconsciously stretched out his hand to cover his nose. However, he found a hand that was tender and full of scars but kept recovering appeared in front of him. This hand is a child's hand. But who hurt him so badly? A hand full of scratches. But the speed of recovery is definitely not something that a normal child or even a normal person can have. This world is by no means his original world, is it transcendence? A trace of thought flashed in Chuyun's eyes. This monster is not dead, why is he not dead? Why is he not dead? A disgusting voice suddenly sounded in Chuyun's ear, and then Chuyun saw a thick arm pick up his head and smash it to the ground. Aha! With a bang, a huge pain hit, making Chuyun unable to help groan in pain, and his internal organs were constantly stirring, and some parts even shattered. Although there is an energy in the body that is restoring its own body, a child's body is still much worse than an adult's. With such strength against a child, do you want him to die and send him to the hospital? Chuyun cursed secretly. At this time, a figure also entered his eyes. It looked like a middle-aged woman in her 40s, but the expression on her face gave Chuyun an uncomfortable feeling. That expression was called disgust. Be careful, it's enough to vent. If it really kills him, we can't explain it to the 3rd generation. Hurry up and bandage his wounds, and then I will send him back. The 3rd generation is still waiting for the news. 3 generations, is that him? But this kind of treatment, could it be? Chuyun's face turned sideways, and then suddenly, Chuyun felt a sharp pain in his head, and a memory that did not belong to him rushed into his mind frantically. With so many memory fragments, is this really something a child can have? Chuyun gritted his teeth and wanted to persevere. However, the pain in his mind and body was too severe. Even if he didn't want to, he completely fainted without holding on to a few breaths. I don't know how long it took. Chuyun finally woke up again, and his body was changed from the hospital to a small house. At this time, the pain in his mind finally disappeared. Chuyun took a deep breath and began to slowly digest this hard-won memory. A few minutes later, Chuyun opened his eyes complicatedly. Sure enough, as I expected, the one called the 3rd generation is Hiruzen Sarutobi, and since I was originally called a monster, this experience is in Konoha. Except for Naruto Uzumaki, there is really no second individual. Not surprisingly, I should have been through Hokage. Quote. But it's ironic that the son of the fourth Hokage Naruto Minato was treated like this. Chuhyun checked the memories of Naruto, the original body, and there was nothing other than bullying. Hot boiling water filled with expired milk powder and stuffed it into his mouth. All the food he ate was mixed with sand or expired. All children's first reaction to seeing him is to insult and beat him for pleasure and parental praise. Ha ha, Namikaze Minato, is this Konoha you protect? Naruto's life is simply darkness. He has been spurned since childhood and bullied like a monster. Is there anyone in the original book who is worse than him? Nagato, bring soil. Sasuke, Itachi, maybe. However, the world of Naruto is indeed a two-dimensional world. It may not be impossible to travel to other worlds and see the scenery of other worlds when it becomes strong in the future. A smile flashed in Chuhyun's eyes. What about Naruto's identity? As the son of the fourth-generation Hokage Naruto Minato and Uzumaki Kushina, his talent is absolutely powerful. In addition to the influence of the Nine Tails, the performance in the original work may not necessarily have the shadow of Konoha in it. In short, Uzumaki Naruto's talent is definitely not as described in the original book. Next, let me replace you in this world. You are too tired. I will make them pay the price. Chuhyun seemed to be saying something gentle to himself and someone else. Indescribably, a blonde child with 6 beards gave Chuhyun a gentle look, and then disappeared. However, Chuhyun did not notice this scene. They all deserve to die. That is to say, a saint like Asura, otherwise how could he not hate him? Ding! Congratulations to the host, the plain lottery system is open. Does the host agree to the binding? At this moment, a cold voice sounded from his mind, and Chuhyun's body couldn't help but pause. Although I had prepared for Goldfinger to come, this sudden sound is really shocking. Chuhyun, that is, Naruto, calmed down for a while, and then said lightly. Binding allowed. The host allows, start binding. The cold voice came again. Congratulations to the host, the system binding is successful. System initialization successful. Open the lottery section, exchange section, and skill section. Naruto touched his chin when he heard the words, a little interesting. Based on years of experience in novels, first the name of the system is the Plane Lottery System, which should be the myriad realms that includes endless planes. Needless to say, the lottery template is just as the name implies. I don't know if the exchange section is to exchange for items in this world or include the heavens Wanji. As for the skill section. System, what does the skill section mean? The skill section is based on the skills learned by the host, using energy points to upgrade it. That is to say, the proficiency is improved and strengthened. Naruto nodded. What about the exchange template? The exchange template can be exchanged for all items in this world. It's not bad. After all, the lottery system has an exchange function, which is already good. Naruto is quite satisfied with the capabilities of this system. Although it is not as powerful as the billions of times enhancement system, the One Knife 999 system, and the opening full-level system, it is a myriad realm. At least future achievements will not confine to Naruto world. After turning on the system, a virtual attribute panel appeared in front of Naruto. Host, Uzumaki Naruto. Strength, 0.55 for adults. Dexterity, 0.55 for adults. Constitution, 2.05 for adults. Talent, Vortex Physique, High Concentration, Space Affinity, Sealing Skill Talent, Ninjutsu Talent. As the strength and speed 1/10 of that of ordinary people. Yes, after all, this body is only 3 years old, but its physical strength is half that of an adult. It is worthy of the blood of the whirlpool. Naruto said with some admiration, such a template is quite gorgeous for a 3-year-old child. Especially the list of talents below. Naruto clicked curiously. Vortex Physique. 10 times the resilience of ordinary people, strong vitality and lifespan, 10 times the chakra of ordinary people. Note, can grow. Space Affinity. I have an unimaginable talent for space ninjutsu. As long as I have enough time, I may not be able to create my own space ninjutsu. Sealing Skill Talent. Has an unimaginable talent for sealing skills, and the power of sealing skills is doubled when using sealing skills. Ninjutsu talent. Has an unimaginable talent for ninjutsu, and the power of ninjutsu is doubled when using ninjutsu. Hiss. Naruto couldn't help but gasp. He never thought that the talent of the original body would be so terrifying, or did he possess such a powerful talent after merging his own soul? But no matter what the reason is, at least it's not bad for him. With such a powerful talent gathered in me, why worry about not being able to overturn Konoha in the future? Naruto's heart suddenly surged with pride. But after a while, Naruto couldn't help laughing. I couldn't help it and got up in the second year, but this feeling is not annoying. After laughing for a while, Naruto asked the system. System, how to get the lucky draw chance? Do I have a lucky draw chance now? Ding, lucky draw opportunities can be exchanged with energy points. Primary lottery draw, 1000 energy points. Intermediate lottery draw, 100,000 energy points. Premium draw, 1 million energy points. Unlimited lottery, more than 10 million energy points. The host has a primary lottery draw. What do you mean by unlimited lottery? Can you increase infinitely if you have more than million energy points? Naruto asked curiously. He had read many system stream novels, but this was the first time he had seen the word unlimited lottery. Ding, there is no difference in what the host understands. Unlimited lottery draws include everything including the traverser, the reborn, the system owner, etc. The level of the drawn item is determined according to the amount of energy points invested. The system explained. I see, but is it too stingy to give me only one entry-level lottery draw? Isn't it too much to give me an unlimited lottery draw for the first time? Naruto said with a smile. Quote question mark question mark question mark question mark question mark quote. The host is dreaming. This reply is really not mechanical at all. It seems that you also have your own feelings. Naruto smiled slightly, and said with a hint. Quote. The system did not speak anymore. Okay, explain to me about energy points. The way to get them is a task. Killing people or something. Naruto changed the subject. Ding, this system does not have a task system. Civilians, 0.1, 1 energy point. Ninja, 10 to 99 energy points. Chunin, 100 to 999 energy points. Jonin, 1000, 9999 energy points. Shadow level, 10,000, 99,999 energy points. Super Shadow, 100,000, 999,999 energy points. 6 Paths, 1,000,000, 9,999,999 energy points. Note, the calculation method of energy points is updated at any time according to different worlds. Exchange rate is not bad. Naruto nodded. The calculation method of this system is quite normal, not too high. With 9 tails around, it shouldn't be too difficult to get energy points in the future. Okay, system, let's use the primary lottery. I think it should not be difficult to draw an item that fits my current situation with my current luck. What's more, I have obtained the system, the current luck should be greatly increased, right? This system does not accept flattery from the host. The system said mechanically. TCH, it's really not interesting. Naruto shrugged. Ding, the lottery starts. As the system sound fell, a virtual lottery roulette was covered in front of Naruto. It is filled with all kinds of objects and people. As the strange-shaped fruit a devil fruit. I don't know what it is. If it is an elemental or a powerful superhuman system, it should provide me with powerful help. Are those book-like item skills? Or martial arts cheats or immortal cultivation methods? There shouldn't be an immortal cultivation method in the primary lottery, right? Is that Zanpakuto? Not necessarily. Maybe even an ordinary sword is not out of the question. Naruto tried his best to guess every item that appeared on the roulette, but the pattern was too abstract for him to recognize. No way, let's start directly. Naruto shook his head with a wry smile. He couldn't accurately identify even one thing with the systematic way of depicting. In this case, he might as well extract it directly. Ding, the lottery starts. Ding, the lottery draw is over. Congratulations to the host for getting the skill, Tongtianlu, from the world under one person. Tongtianlu, one of the 8 miraculous skills. My luck is indeed a little bit European. The ability of today's talisman is extremely terrifying. Naruto was also a little surprised. He never thought that the low-level lottery would include a reward of the level of Tongtianglu, because although the world system under one person is not as powerful as those in the high-level world, the 8 wonders in it are very abnormal. If it is developed to a certain level, even in the more advanced fantasy or fairy world, brilliant sparks can bloom. Such a powerful technique is actually included in the low-level lottery. It seems that the weight of the low-level lottery is not as low as I thought. Then, next, the system, integrate the Tongtian talisman for me. Naruto said. Ding, start merging. After the system's voice fell, a golden light melted into Naruto's mind, and all the practice methods and annotations of Tongtianglu were transmitted to Naruto's memory. The amount of memory is a bit huge. Is it the annotations given by the system besides the practice? It's more than the original text. It's a bit like reading comprehension. However, I have to praise you, the system actually gave me an extra copy of the innate energy. The method of practice, thank you. Naruto said with a smile. He originally thought that the system would convert the usage of the Tongtian talisman into chakra, but he did not expect to send an extra copy of the practice method of another world. The way of practice is also very good. Ding, the system will adjust according to the needs of the host. The system said mechanically. I like. Naruto nodded in satisfaction. Although the theory of system evil has been rumored on the internet in his previous life, if possible, who would not want a system? Right. And with his strength, it shouldn't be too easy for something as advanced as the system to harm him. According to the speculation of netizens in the previous life, the system may be made by someone, and then select certain people to go to various worlds to win luck and so on. In fact, it is like working part-time. Take 1/10, 100th. Anyway, Naruto thinks it's pretty good, at least you get something you wouldn't otherwise get. Ding, the system indicates that the host's brain is too powerful. This system is not artificially created. The purpose of helping the host come to this world is not to win the world's luck. Said the system. Oh, interesting, what about your background? Naruto touched his chin and said, silently making a note to the system in his heart that he can probe the host's thoughts without the host's consent. Quote. Ding, the system didn't exist at first, but as people on Earth's belief and firm belief in the system expanded and deepened, the system gradually changed from fantasy to reality. Host, the first and last host picked for the system. Quote. Familiar setting, Godslayer. It makes sense. Naruto nodded. Forget it, it's too early to think about these things now. Let's talk about it after I become stronger. The first thing is to practice Shantian Chi. With that in mind, Naruto prepared to cross his legs and start practicing. Boom boom boom. At this moment, there was a knock on the door suddenly. Naruto frowned. 3 generations at this time. After hesitating for a moment, Naruto walked towards the door and opened it gently. Is it Naruto? Grandpa is here to see you. At this time, an old voice also came over. Is your body okay? Are you hungry? I'll bring you your favorite Ichiraku ramen. Wearing a red and white imperial robe, with a big hat on his head, he is short in stature, but has his own aura, and his old face has a smile, which gives people a kind feeling. This person, no accident, is Konoha's 3rd Hokage, Sarutobi Hiruzen. Has Naruto been exposed to Ichiraku ramen since he was 3 years old? I can't remember many details about Hokage. Forget it, this is not anime after all. Now we have to treat it as a real world. If it is a real world, many sincere emotions that belong to 2-dimensional can't be believed, but it doesn't matter. Many thoughts flashed through Naruto's mind, and in an instant, his face returned to its usual appearance. Wow, it's Yeel ramen, thank you 3 generations of grandpa. Naruto pretended to be very happy, as if he was not the one who was injured and sent to the hospital. Ha ha ha, as long as you like Naruto. Hearing Naruto's words, a trace of guilt flashed in Sandai's eyes, but he quickly hid it and said to Naruto with a smile. However, the fleeting emotion in his eyes was instantly noticed by Naruto, who observed carefully. Is this emotion guilt? Ridiculous. Naruto was calm on the surface, but he was quite disdainful about it in his heart. The 3rd generation smiled and handed the ramen in his hand to Naruto, and then walked into Naruto's room, a very simple room without any decorations. Ah, Sandai sighed in his heart, not because he didn't arrange a better house for Naruto, but for the villagers, they couldn't see Naruto living well. And for the sake of Konoha, he can only do this. Minato and Kushina's houses, compensation and deposits are temporarily placed with him, and they will be handed over to him when the opportunity is right in the future. As for when the opportunity is right, that depends on the performance of Naruto. On the other side, Naruto ignored the third generation, opened the Ichiraku ramen in his hand, and ate it. Everyone should know what Naruto usually eats, so no matter whether the taste of Ichiraku ramen is good or not, it is definitely the best thing Naruto has ever eaten. What's more, the taste itself is good. However, it can only be said that it is not bad. The geographical location is different, and the eating habits are also different. Naruto said in his heart while eating, "I, an old man, rarely come to see you." The third generation looked at Naruto eating ramen, and said with some relief, "If you have any requests, you can ask me." The third generation is very clear about how Naruto was admitted to the hospital, and he may have done this to make himself feel better. Hearing Sandai's words, Naruto paused, thought for a while, and said, "Grandfather of the third generation, can you give me a little more money?" Money. 3 generations stunned. Yes, because every time I buy food, half of it is sand, so I want to buy vegetables and cook by myself. Naruto looked at Sandai seriously with clear light blue eyes. "Okay, is 1,000 taels enough?" The third generation said gently. "That's enough, thank you 3 generations of grandpas." Naruto was overjoyed. Although the money is not much, it is at least better than the few copper coins in the original book. The money in the original book is probably not even 30 taels. You must know that a bowl of the most common eel ramen costs 60 taels a bowl. Asshole. Next, maybe he really compensated Naruto a little bit. Sandai felt a little less guilt in his heart, and he still walked away with a smile when he left. "Naruto, you should take a good rest. Grandpa and I still have a lot to do. I will come to see you after a while. Goodbye, 3 generations of grandpa," Naruto said with a look of reluctance. Sandai nodded with a smile, and walked out. Don't monitor Naruto for now, and make sure that the food sold to Naruto must be normal. Sandai said something to Anbi, who was hiding in one direction. And Naruto in the room didn't notice at all, his current strength is still too weak. Naruto breathed a sigh of relief after the inquiry system detected that the third generation had really left and also took away the members of Anbu and Genbu. Although it is not clear why the third generation would do such a thing, it would be beneficial to him without any harm, and he didn't want to delve into it. Then I'll also start the practice of innate one chi. Chakra is harmful to the body after all, not for the Tao. Although the advantage in the early stage is strong, it can't prolong life. Besides, I don't have the method of chakra practice. But fortunately, the system gave away the cultivation method of Shantianyiki, otherwise, Tongtianlu would not need to be thought about for the time being. Quote. Naruto said and sat down cross-legged, closed his eyes and began to practice. Innate chi comes from all things. There is nothing in heaven and earth, and life begins with chi. Water has a mother. Mountains, rivers, sand and trees all precede people. People are born in water. The original chi that produces all things in life is the basic quality that constitutes all things in the world. The Tao is that nothingness produces one chi, that is, one chi produces yin and yang are combined into 3 bodies, and the 3 regenerate all things and prosper. Quote. Shantian chi is the true master of life and the sun of the human body. Its cultivation is not only a response to the heaven and earth, but also a response to oneself. Its cultivation is not only a strengthening of strength, but more like a change in the level of life. Perhaps it is the help of the system, or it may be that the talent of this body is really high. In just a moment, Naruto's first practice in the world of Naruto has reached the state of forgetting both things and me. A trace of positive energy appeared in Naruto's body out of thin air, continuously circulating slowly, strengthening. The days of cultivation often pass quickly. With the continuous practice of Shantianyiki, Naruto can feel that his spirit, physique, and 5 senses are all strengthening at an obvious speed. He doesn't know whether this speed is fast or slow. But he really enjoys the process of getting stronger. Every move in life and every rhythm of nature can give him a different experience. It seems that he is gradually merging into nature. I don't even know if it's because of my vortex physique, but I feel that my perception is constantly expanding. Sometimes I can see my surroundings clearly even when I close my eyes. 50 meters, 100 meters, 300 meters, 600 meters. In the past 10 days, his perception range has gradually reached 1 kilometer. According to Naruto's guess, this should be the Kagura mind of the Uzumaki clan. As for Naruto in the original book, why not? What can be developed with this kind of junk food? Not bad without degradation. After all, whether it is chakra or Shantian-yiki, it is directly related to the body. Although Naruto in the original book has nothing on the surface, his own potential is definitely wasted. To put it bluntly, he can reach the most shadow level. Shantian-yiki's practice is progressing rapidly, but for me, I don't know whether my talent is good or ordinary without comparison, but as the child of Hokage, the talent should not be much worse. There is no need to be too eager for the next practice, and the improvement of strength does not happen overnight. It is also time to improve one's own attack and defense methods. Quote. Naruto woke up from his practice and said lightly. But Tongtianlu, without setting up an altar, without casting spells, and without energy, you can release the talismans that others need to prepare for several hours before setting up an altar, casting spells, and expelling chi. Such a setting is too powerful, but there should be restrictions in it, right? The power of the talisman is not fixed, and it will also depend on the level of the maker. The Tongtian talisman can be used infinitely without even running chi, a complete infinite bullet gatling. Such a powerful skill is not shown how powerful it is in the hands of Mr. Liu. Is it because of the plot? In any case, it is not easy for Tongtianlu to be used as the 8 wonders. And the Taoist talisman technique is also extensive and profound. There are those belonging according to their names, such as Laojun talisman, Tianxi talisman, Judian Xuanvi talisman, Potgong talisman, Lei Bujung talisman, Wugong talisman, etc. Semicolon. According to the attribution of the object of use, such as healing charms, demon-suppressing charms, ghost-killing charms, amulets, rain-praying charms, townhouse charms, evil-breaking charms, insect-repellent charms, invisibility charms, etc. Semicolon. There are those belonging to the disciplines according to Taoism, such as setting up altars, summoning gods, throwing bamboo slips, erecting banners, offering incense, and entering watches, etc. All have their own special talismans. Others such as soldier talisman, enslaving spirits, expelling corpses, absorbing souls, entering water, avoiding fire, saving death, prolonging heirs, transforming disasters, borrowing life, nailing feet, transforming bones, stopping bleeding, protecting spirits, piercing walls, summoning the moon, transforming things, etc. The most famous one is Taiching 24 talisman, amulet of eliminating ghosts. Talisman of eliminating nightmares, talisman of urging fertility, talisman of townhouse disaster, talisman of curing dangers, talisman of suppressing drowning ghosts, talisman of suppressing female ghosts, talisman of eliminating fox charm, talisman of suppressing hard wind, suppressing no master ghost talisman, talisman for curing jealousy, talisman for eliminating poison, talisman for calamity of officials, talisman for suppressing tongue, talisman for suppressing self-death, talisman for curing chronic disease, talisman for suppressing God, talisman for resolving offenders of Tai Sui, talisman for suppressing years of calamity, talisman for water monsters, and talisman for suppressing dragons. Amulet, talisman, life-saving talisman, evil talisman. Talismans are one of the magic tools, the deeds of heaven, the letters of communication with the world of heaven and earth. The true holy spirits and evil spirits should be followed according to the law. Therefore, Tongtianlu doesn't set up an altar, cast spells, or use chi to release the talismans you want. 10,000. But, in the world of Hokage, playing with talisman to exorcise ghosts is not a bit of official authority. Naruto couldn't help laughing. Of course, talismans are definitely not just for catching ghosts, but when he was a child, he watched a lot of movies of Uncle Ju, which did affect his subjective perception of talismans. Well, let's try. Naruto straightened his face and began to practice the Tongtian talisman. The practice of Tongtianlu is not simple. It uses heaven and earth as paper, and mind as brush. When using it, although you put the talisman on your hand, you have to draw the appearance of the talisman in your heart. This is a test of memory and hands-on ability. Naruto's memory or Chuyun's memory. It can only be said that it will take a lot of time to cultivate successfully, but Naruto is not short of time. Moreover, the practice of innate energy can improve Naruto's memory and understanding. After a few minutes, Naruto opened his eyes and smiled wryly. Is the Taoist talisman a little too difficult, not to mention the advanced talisman, even the simple amulet and exorcism talisman, he can't remember it at all now. Not. It should be said that imitation is not difficult, but it is very difficult to remember and release it autonomously. Let's put the practice of talismans at night, and combine it with the practice of chi. I should also exercise my body during the day. I don't know how long it will take to rely solely on the development of chi. That would be too much of a waste of the recovery power of the vortex physique in that fox. The resilience that Nine Tails and Whirlpool physique can provide Naruto is almost equivalent to being perfect as long as he does not die and rests for a short time. Such a talent is simply a waste if it is not used to practice physical skills. But it's too conspicuous to go out to exercise now. Although Hiruzuru Sarutobi removed the people in Onbi en route, there is no guarantee that he or Danzo will change his mind one day. What's more, I don't have the money to buy weights now. Although Sarutobi Hiruzen gave Naruto 1,000 taels, it was enough for him to eat for a month at most, and this was an extremely frugal situation, so it was a delusion to buy exercise equipment. Naruto shook his head helplessly, and said, "It seems that we can only use the cultivation method of the previous life first, so that we can do it in the room. Anyway, let's practice first." Thinking of this, Naruto didn't hesitate, and started a new round of training. Push-ups, sit-ups, the most common exercise methods in his previous life, are the only way Naruto can increase his stamina and strength now. Naruto can only be so cautious, and this kind of thing can't be exposed at all. The suspicion of the third generation may not prevent Naruto from being wary of him because of Naruto's actions, plus the old guy in Danzo coveted Naruto. As long as he fanned the flames more times, maybe Hiruza Sarutobi would agree to it. After all, he had a lot of brain problems. In this way, Naruto's strength improved slowly without knowing it. Every morning meditation practice, morning and afternoon gymnastics exercises, and evening Tongtianlu practice and innate chi comprehension. Time flies like water, time flies, 2 years have passed by in a flash. Is it 5 years old? Standing in front of the mirror, Naruto whispered. Unknowingly, I have been in this world for 2 years. Indeed, this world has no mobile phones, no computers, no games, and no entertainment. Except for catching fish by the river, there is no going out once. But in the past 2 years, he has lived an extremely fulfilling life. He finally understood why those Taoist priests never felt lonely in their practice. They were able to live in a deserted place for 10 or decades. In their eyes, they may never feel that they are alone. They communicate with nature every day. Everything in the world is their best friend. Although Naruto is far from reaching the realm of those masters, he can finally feel that he is getting closer to nature through the practice of innate energy. This practice intoxicated him, so he was never bored with it. But it can only be said that it is the gene of Namikaze Minato and Uzumaki Kushina. This appearance is not worse than that of Uchiha Sasuke, right? Maybe it is even better. After all, the temperament of a practitioner is also a bonus item. Looking at himself in the mirror, Naruto said with a smile. In the past 2 years, the satisfaction of nutrition and meat has finally replenished the nutrition that Naruto had lost, and his height has also reached 115 centimeters, which is considered above average for 5-year-old children. As for the clothes, Naruto didn't throw away the khaki clothes in the original book, and put them away carefully, as a kind of nostalgia for the past. Now these clothes are given to him by the system for free. Maybe I can't bear the waste of such a good appearance. Naruto also shook his head and laughed at his own thoughts. But what makes Naruto more happy is the 6 beard textures on his face. Because it is not clear in the original book whether Naruto's beard texture is due to Kyuubi, Asura Chakra, or the Son of Prophecy, Naruto is still a little worried. Can you really not want your appearance to be higher, right? However, the system prompts Naruto to say that the texture of the beard can be automatically masked. Naruto tried it once, and Naruto without the iconic beard looks like a shrunken version of Namikaze Minato, unusually handsome and sunny. But after a while, Naruto cancelled the shield. If he really went out with such a face, it might cause some unpredictable things to happen, so it's better to be a bit more cautious. Today seems to be the 2nd anniversary of my time travel, right? It's a rare occasion to celebrate and go buy some food. As he said that, Naruto turned around habitually, ready to pick up disguised hats, glasses and other things, but when he touched them, his hands froze. Do you still want to hide? You have been hiding for 2 years. This habit should be changed. Naruto grinned, decided, go straight out. On the way, Naruto walked on the street with a calm expression. The people passing by were a little suspicious of him at first, but they soon remembered his identity, pointed at him along the way, and said, "Isn't he dead? Why are you still alive? This kind of person deserves to die," and so on. Naruto's surface is very calm, and his heart is also very calm. This level of insults is just a little kiss to him. He was also a Zan in Duin, and his anti-spray skills are also very strong. It seems that he thought of something interesting, and the corners of Naruto's mouth could not help but curl up, but the reality is like this: whenever you are happy, some SB will come out from some places to make you unhappy. Like, now, a few kids who didn't know where they came from, and they didn't know why Naruto hadn't come out for 2 years, but they could recognize Naruto's Demon Fox identity at a glance. But when they saw Naruto, their first move was to pick up a stone on the ground and throw it at him. Naruto squinted his eyes. To be honest, it was very easy for him to hide, but could he hide? Believe it or not, if you hide today, some Anbu disguised as a passerby will send his information to Sarutobi Hiruzen's table in an instant, doubt his strength, and then start to monitor again. Or, do you think hiding stones is easy? Yes, it's really simple, but you have to hide in a messy way, naturally, and you have to be good at pretending. Will Naruto do it? He can't do this to this extent. He can pretend to be the real one in front of Sarutobi Hiruzen because he often did this kind of thing in his previous life. He is used to pretending to be a good boy in front of his parents, a good student in front of his teachers, gentle in front of girls, and hospitable in front of his friends. It's not just him. In fact, many people in the past life, there are many people who pretend to be better than him. Don't you see that some celebrities act like shit, but they pretend to be very stable? Right. But the real reaction of a 5-year-old pretending to be normal to hide stones. He couldn't pretend, and he didn't want to pretend, because there was a better way. Boom. A stone hit him on the head, and a trail of blood ran from his forehead. It healed completely in a few seconds. Not looking at the child, Naruto continued walking. Get out, monster. Seeing that Naruto didn't respond, the children said aggressively. Get out, monster. Naruto turned his head and fixed his eyes on the child who threw the stone. In an instant, they turned into animal pupils, exuding a ferocious aura, but it was fleeting. Ah, monster, he is a monster, his eyes are different. The child was the only one who saw it, and fell to the ground in fright, looking at Naruto in horror, twisting his body backwards. His companions hurriedly helped him up, and then looked at Naruto angrily. You monster, leave us Konoha. Monster, go to hell. I really don't know why the third Hokage asked you to stay in Konoha. Just find a place to die. That's right, I killed you. Mom said you killed Dad. Get out, you don't belong here. A few children kept scolding Naruto over there, swearing all kinds of language and swear words. I really want to kill them. A trace of killing intent flashed in Naruto's eyes. He didn't want to reveal it at first, but his practice is as good as he wants. If he can't do what he wants to do, how can he cultivate smoothly? As for the future, hey, he wants to kill these guys now. Even if they don't kill now, they will die in the future with him destroying Konoha. Thinking like this, Naruto's hand burst into a black light that no one else could see except him, and 6 spells exuding an ominous atmosphere formed instantly, and then quickly melted into the bodies of those children. The 7-day death talisman. This talisman was originally prepared for that woman, but if you make a mistake, you will have to bear the consequences. I am not a good person, and this world does not need a good person. Naruto said something coldly in his heart, and then ignored those people's abuse. After all, he didn't want to care about a group of dead people. And seeing Naruto leave, the 6 children who didn't know that they were about to die celebrated there as if they had won. On the road, Naruto calmly endured the hatred-filled eyes of the civilians, and he was not ready to do anything again. After all, curses such as the 7-day death talisman have a cause and effect, and Tongtianlu does not have the ability to ignore cause and effect. He can bear a few children, but if there are too many people, the innate energy and future achievements are limited, so naturally he will not lower his achievements for these guys. Of course, this does not mean that Naruto will not kill them. When the ninjutsu practice in this world reaches the stage in the original book, he will definitely kill these people without hesitation. The cultivation system of Naruto world does not talk about cause and effect. But to be honest, I don't seem to be as tolerant as I thought. Did the anger accumulated before rush out all of a sudden? I still have to pay attention in the future. Well, Ichiraku Ramen. Suddenly, Naruto stopped, looked at the Yeel Ramen shop on the right side of the road, hesitated, and walked in. Welcome, what would you like to eat? The hand-slapping uncle said subconsciously, but he was stunned for a moment when he saw Naruto, and then he didn't say anything, just smiled kindly. A medium serving of seafood ramen. Naruto said lightly, and then waited in his seat. Okay, wait a moment, guest. The hand-slapping uncle said heartily, and then went inside and started making ramen. The speed was very fast, and it didn't take long for the hand-slapping uncle to put a huge seafood ramen in front of Naruto. The guests have been waiting for a long time. No, just for a while. Naruto shook his head, then picked up his chopsticks and took a bite. How is the taste? The hand-slapped uncle said with a smile. Great. Naruto paused for a moment, then spoke. Yes, that would be great. The smile on his face became even brighter, and then he got up to receive new guests. Finally finished. Has that child left yet? Wiping the sweat off his face with his hands, he walked over to put away Naruto's bowl. That child is really precocious. Looking at the 100 tails under the bowl, he said with a wry smile. The taste is good and the quantity is sufficient. The most important thing is that I like the eyes of the boss very much. Naruto said after coming out. Maybe Naruto in the original book was concerned about the eyes of the uncle when he hit him. The way he sees him as a human instead of a monster. Hey, are you blind? Did you see me when you bumped into me? Apologize. Just as Naruto sighed, a voice suddenly entered Naruto's ears. It's a little familiar. This voice seems to be the child who threw the stone at me before. Out of curiosity, Naruto walked over. A group of boys surround a little girl. The little girl has a pair of white pupils, but her figure and temperament give off a very weak and bullying feeling. Probably because of this reason, otherwise, how could these commoner children have the guts to bully the daughter of the head of Konoha's largest clan? But the family in Konoha. Hinata also deserves him. Naruto smiled disdainfully. It is extremely ridiculous to separate the family and the main family in front of them. Right, no, sorry, I didn't mean it. The little girl curled up her hands, and said rather frightenedly, it could be seen that this should be the first time she had encountered such a thing. You can't even speak clearly. Don't think that you are from the Hyuga clan and we are afraid of you. That's right, so what about the Hyuga clan? Apologize for doing something wrong. Several boys said unreasonably. So, you guys know that the other party is from the Hyuga clan and still have the guts to provoke. Naruto put his hands in his trouser pockets and looked at them calmly. It's you monster again. Why, didn't you remember the lesson just now? When the children saw Naruto, their expressions became even more arrogant. Lesson? Do you mean that you fell to the ground and almost peed on me? It really shocked me. Naruto said disdainfully. You, what are you? Do you know who that girl is and dare to provoke her? That's the eldest lady of the Hyuga clan. You are just a few commoners and dare to bully you. Do you want to die? Although the Uchiha clan is in charge of the Konoha security department, the Hyuga clan wants you to come in. It's just a matter of greeting, or it's easy to kill you directly. After all, they are just a few civilian children. Naruto's face was cold and he said something that scared a few children to piss. After all, he was just a 6-year-old kid. Naruto's words could easily scare them. That's right, this is the princess of the Hyuga clan, the largest family in Konoha, and it's just a matter of moving their fingers to kill them. What kind of mentality do they have to bully each other? But their insignificant self-esteem still made them unwilling to leave like this, and they had to say a few words before leaving. HMPH, if she hadn't apologized, I wouldn't have left so easily. That's right, what about the Hyuga clan? Hokage-sama will definitely not favor each other. Walk. They ran away in embarrassment one by one. Oh, 3 generations. If the 3 generations offended Hinata because of you, that would be a shame. What are you? Naruto sneered, and turned to look at the little girl. Are you okay? It's all right. The little girl lowered her head, her face was flushed, and her speech was a little difficult. Since it's all right, I'll go first. Naruto shrugged and turned to leave. What's your name? Hinata blushed and hesitated, saying rather embarrassedly. Me, Uzumaki Naruto, goodbye. Naruto paused, and after saying a word, he continued to walk forward without looking back. Whirlpool. Naruto. I remember. Hinata looked at Naruto's back and said inwardly. Miss. Just after Naruto left, a white-eyed ninja suddenly appeared beside Hinata, and said to Hinata respectfully. Let's go. Hinata lowered her head and said. Yes. The first Hokage Hashi Hot Mom Senjujujuma of Konoha Ninja Village is recognized as the #1 powerhouse in the ninja world. Art as the founder of Konoha. Senju Bashima's younger brother, Senju Fama, is Konoha's second-generation Hokage, and has made outstanding contributions to the village's forbidden art industry. He is good at researching and developing ninjutsu and forbidden techniques. The famous ones are Flying Thunder God Jutsu, Shadow Clone Jutsu and Forbidden Jutsu Dirty Reincarnation. What is even more famous is that the second generation of Hokage, Sensho, passed on the ninja school. It was a time of troubled times, and it was created in order to ensure the stability and efficiency of combat ability and education. However, the Ninja Academy in the peaceful era still remained. If you want to become a ninja, you must graduate from the Ninja Academy. Over time, every villager living among the leaves will send their children to study in this academy. However, compared to the war-torn era, the students of the Ninja Academy in the peaceful era are generally weaker. Naruto is 6 years old this year, and it is also the age to enter the Ninja Academy. In the early morning, Naruto, who was immersed in the practice of Shantian-Yiki, suddenly frowned and opened his eyes. Someone is coming. This was Naruto's first reaction. Naruto. Sure enough, a man's voice came from outside at this time. Are you at home? I was sent by Hokage-sama. Sarutobi Hiruzen. Why did he send people here? I hardly go out these days, and those villagers can't find me if they look for trouble. Wait, is it a ninja school? Calculating the time, he is almost 6 years old now, and no accident, he should come to find him to go to the ninja school. Also good. After entering the ninja school, I should be able to speed up my exercise again. After all, I used to practice indoors almost to prevent exposure. My strength is good, but my speed cannot be tested in detail. Going to the ninja school can at least show some physical talent, so that Sarutobi and the others should not be suspicious of training. As for ninjutsu, that must not be exposed. Leaving aside their suspicions, if they miss the forbidden scroll, it would definitely be a loss. Furthermore, he needs the chakra refining scroll, which no one gave him. While thinking in his mind, Naruto opened the door, and a man wearing a Chunin ninja uniform stood at the door. The man looks a little ordinary, but he really feels sunny, but a clear scar on the bridge of his nose also shows his identity. Yumino Iruka, a teacher who can be called Naruto's father. He is definitely an important reason why Naruto has not been blackened. Yumino Iruka in the anime is an excellent person, giving Naruto a lot of feelings such as caring, kindness and even fatherly love that he has never felt. But now that Hokage is reality, what Naruto should consider is whether there is a shadow of Konoha in it, or Yumino Iruka itself is a pawn used by Hiruza Sarutobi to prevent Naruto from betraying. Hello Naruto, I am Uno Iruka, the teacher of Ninja Academy, you can call me Iruka-sensei. Iruka began to introduce himself, saying, Master Hokage should have already told you, then come with me and meet people of the same age as you, everyone will be classmates in the future, I believe you will get along very well. Iruka did not blame Naruto for the death of his parents at the hands of the demon fox. The little guy in front of him was just a child, his future student. As a teacher, Yahoo is Yahoo, Naruto is Naruto, he will not take the death of his parents on a child. I didn't feel any wrong emotions. And I became more and more kind. What is he thinking about? At this time, Naruto was secretly feeling the emotions emanating from Yumino Iruka. As the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, distinguishing emotions as a basic ability, disgust, killing intent. I remember that Iruka in the original book was not nice to Naruto at the beginning, right? Forget it, after all, there is still a difference between reality and anime. No matter what, you saved your life. Looking at Iruka's face, Naruto said something in his heart. Chuhyun, or the current Naruto, is not killing innocent people indiscriminately. The reason for destroying Konoha is because the original body enjoys the treatment like a monster here, which is what Konoha owes him. However, whether it is the original novel or the present, Ano Iruka does not exude the same annoying atmosphere as those villagers, and is even full of friendly and kind meanings. So no matter whether Iruka has anything to do with the third generation, Naruto will not touch him. He knows that he is not a good person, but he does not want to be a bad person. Of course, this kind of thing depends on the situation. Hello, Iruka-sensei. Naruto showed a very sunny smile at the right time, and said, please give me more advice in the future. Is this kid actually pretty good? Seeing Naruto with a smile as warm as the sun in front of him, Iruka couldn't help laughing himself. After tidying up briefly, Naruto arrived at the ninja school under the leadership of Iruka. At this time, a large number of parents brought their children to report here, and it seemed very lively. Look, is that man a demon fox? He has a beard. I don't know, it seems to be. I haven't seen it for a long time. Me too. That monster hasn't come out for a long time. My mother told me that he is dead. It's better to die, so that no one will be harmed. Naruto listened to their whispers, and he was still full of smiles and calm on the surface, but in his heart. Hee, let you live a few more years. When the time comes, none of you will be able to escape. Naturally, Iruka could also hear what they said. He glanced at Naruto worriedly, and said comfortingly, Naruto, don't listen to their nonsense, they just don't know the reason of the matter. We can get along well. I see. Naruto pretended to be disappointed and said, of course, he didn't feel anything about these people who didn't have many years to live. I've gotten used to it over the years. Let's go in, Mr. Iruka. Ah, looking at Naruto's disappointed little face, Iruka couldn't help but feel a little sad. He's just a kid. At the same time, wow, look, that guy is so handsome. Is that his brother, Kawaii? They are from the Uchiha clan, right? Wow, I really like it. That person is Konoha's genius Uchiha Itachi. I heard that he has joined Onbi. Naruto pretended to be disappointed and said, of course, he didn't feel anything about these people who didn't have many years to live. I've gotten used to it over the years. Let's go in, Mr. Iruka. Ah, looking at Naruto's disappointed little face, Iruka couldn't help but feel a little sad. He's just a kid. At the same time, wow, look, that guy is so handsome. Is that his brother, Kawaii? They are from the Uchiha clan, right? Wow, I really like it. That person is Konoha's genius Uchiha Itachi. I heard that he has joined Onbi. He is not very old now. He has already joined Onbi. He is indeed a genius of the Uchiha clan. Yeah, if only my son could live up to half of it. Who said it wasn't? Oh, Uchiha Itachi. Itachi God. Naruto also looked at this famous figure in his previous life with great interest. Singhua is like the moon, warm and moist like jade, with an indifferent expression, no sadness or joy, and a kind of silence permeating the whole person. Even Naruto has to say, compared to the anime version, the three-dimensional Itachi Uchiha really looks like a modest gentleman. His appearance is not peerless, but he has a unique temperament. And next to him, although he pretended to be calm, there was an air of arrogance between his brows. Holding Uchiha Itachi's arms tightly with both hands, his eyes are full of attachment to Uchiha Itachi. Uchiha Itachi also touched Uchiha Sasuke's head with a gentle face, showing his doting. It's really my younger brother's control of Jaji's control. It's a pity that you are not together. Naruto was extremely embarrassed to see this scene of brotherly harmony, and the corners of his mouth couldn't help twitching. In the original book, if Uchiha Itachi didn't exterminate the clan, would Uchiha Sasuke find a wife? After all, he loves his brother so much. It seemed that Naruto's eyes were too strange. Uchiha Itachi glanced in his direction with some awareness, and when he found that a child who was about the same age as Sasuke looked at him again, Uchiha Itachi smiled and nodded. Naruto nodded in response, then looked away. Oni-chan, what were you looking at just now? Sasuke asked Uchiha Itachi curiously. A funny kid. Well, let's go. Uchiha Itachi touched Sasuke's head, and the two continued to walk forward. At the same time, okay, Naruto, you can find a place to sit down, Iruka said after bringing Naruto to the classroom. Naruto nodded, glanced around the classroom, and a girl with white eyes came into view. Hinata, this is the second meeting, right? Naruto smiled, but he didn't choose the seat next to Hinata, but chose the seat next to the window on the right side of the classroom. It's not really a protagonist seat. In his previous life, when he was able to choose a seat based on his grades in the third year of junior high school, he liked that seat. He almost sat in that seat in high school and university. After a long time, he got used to it. I don't know when I can learn the art of chakra, although there is an explanation in the anime that it is a kind of energy produced by the perfect fusion of mental energy and physical energy. It can be extracted from cells or undergo a lot of practice and experience. Workout. But without a complete chakra technique, I can't refine it at all, even if I have accumulated a lot of chakra in my body. Quote. Besides, I guess that the cultivation systems of different worlds are not fully compatible, but when I cultivate the innate chi, I can always feel that the chakra provided by the vortex physique and the chakratan unintentionally emitted by the nine tails have been swallowed up. What is it? Why? Or is Shantian chi really not just as simple as the one in Daoshungi? He is the starting point, so he embraces everything. Quote. This kind of unknown thing is really interesting. Naruto sighed in his heart. Soon, the seats in the classroom were full of people, but to Naruto, except for those future Konoha Xiaoqiang, he didn't know anyone. With the arrival of everyone, Iruka also began to explain some requirements and curriculum arrangements for the freshmen in class, and then Hiruza Sarutobi gave the opening speech. It's not so much a lecture, it's more like hypnosis, seeing the students around him yelling about Konoha, the will of fire and so on. Naruto was really sleepy, but in order to prevent being seen, he had to join in. The next step is to receive the freshman rules, school rules and chakra training scrolls. Of course, Naruto didn't care about the first two, but he was very happy to get the chakra training scroll on the first day of school, which meant that his research could officially start. He also needs to buy some weights and shurikens for practicing taijutsu. After all, taijutsu in the future does not need to be limited to around the house, and the ninja school also has a dedicated taijutsu training venue. After receiving the scroll, it was almost time for school to leave. Iruka originally wanted to invite Naruto to eat ramen, but Naruto refused. Not caring about the regretful look in Iruka's eyes, Naruto returned home in a very short time. Without hesitation, Naruto first calmed his heart with the innate chi, and adjusted his state to the most perfect time, then he couldn't wait to practice chakra. According to the prompts on the chakra scroll, a blue warm current slowly emerges from the body. At this time, the benefits of Nine Tails Jinchuriki and Whirlpool Physique are truly revealed. It takes at least 3 days or even a week for ordinary people to cultivate chakra, even for a genius like Namikaze Minato. But Naruto did succeed in cultivating in an instant. Apart from the reason of Nine Tails and Whirlpool Physique, the innate chi seems to be helping Naruto to condense chakra, and it even seems to complement each other. After an hour, Naruto slowly opened his eyes full of doubt and curiosity. The refinement of chakra seems to be a bit too smooth. Not only does the innate chi not block it, but it seems to promote the development of chakra. Is there something in common between the two, or is there any reason? In addition to Under One Man and Hokage, will the cultivation systems of other worlds also work? Was my previous guess wrong? Can the energies of different worlds lead to the same goal and be combined into one? Quote. Naruto touched his chin. If this is really the case, it would be great. I can also speed up the next practice. In the following time, Naruto repeated the life of 3 points and 1 line. Practice Shanti and Yiki in the morning, and then go to school to learn knowledge of Sanshenjutsu, Shuriken, Kunai, and Ninja. After school, practice taijutsu alone in the taijutsu practice site, and master Tongtianlu and refine chakra at night. Time is slowly passing by unconsciously. Hey, here it is. Looking at the environment like a sewer around him, Naruto couldn't help frowning. He remembered that he was clearly refining chakra. Why did he appear here? Wait, this place is sewer. Nine Tails. It's interesting, I didn't expect to come to this place so early. Remember that Naruto in the original book seems to come here during the Chunin exam, right? But can I, who has changed my soul, really be recognized by Kyuubi? But it doesn't matter if you can't get it, even if it's just by myself. I believe that I can become a top-notch powerhouse in Hokage, not to mention that I have a system, an item that only exists in human fantasy, so the role of Kyuubi not as important as the original. Quote. Thinking of this, Naruto had no scruples anymore, and walked forward along the sewer. After about a few minutes, a tall iron gate appeared in Naruto's field of vision. Naruto estimated that the height was about 17 meters. A piece of talisman paper was pasted on the door, with a big, written on it. Feng, the side of the seal is also covered with mysterious patterns. Is this the four-symbol seal? It's indeed a bit mysterious. I can see some gossip from it. Naruto touched his chin, and looked at the pattern of the seal on the iron gate. Suddenly, a vicissitudes of life and cold voice suddenly sounded, almost startling Naruto. Little devil, I didn't expect you to come here by yourself. The majestic voice is shocking. Naruto heard the words, raised his eyes and saw the inside of the gate. A huge crimson figure slowly emerged from the dark space. With pointed fangs and bayonet-like claws, a huge fox slowly appeared in front of him. Seeing the nine tails in reality, even Naruto couldn't help being horrified. With such an evil and violent aura, it really deserves to be the strongest among the tailed beasts. It's really hard to imagine how strong Uchiha Madara and Senjujuma were, who were able to hang it up and beat it. Probably not even a tenth of it was depicted in the original book. That's right, brat, to see my uncle so calm. Kyuubi was rather dissatisfied when he saw that Naruto's shock to him was only fleeting, and then he calmed down. Who is it? The most powerful tail beast. A symbol of destruction and destruction, who in the ninja world is not ugly and frightened when he sees himself. Calm, probably. I just don't like to show my emotions on my face, and, although you give me a strong aura, being sealed here is enough to prove that you are not invincible. Since you can be defeated, then what else is there to be surprised about? Naruto shook his head and said lightly, brave brat, if your parents hadn't sealed me here, you would have died without a burial just now. Kyuubi obviously didn't expect Naruto to speak like this, and said rather annoyed, especially after seeing Naruto's face exactly like that guy. It's just that you're not strong enough. How dare a mere fox being manipulated by Sharingan dare to yell? Even if the fourth Hokage didn't make a move at that time, Konoha still had people who could seal you up. Naruto looked up at Kyuubi, and said coldly, Naruto does not believe that only two people in Konoha can use such a sealing technique as the ghoul seal, whether it is the dead warrior of Danzo or Hiruzuru Sarutobi's Onbi. It is possible to learn. Ha 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 ha, do you know what kind of existence you are talking to? A strange red light flashed in the pupils of the nine-tailed beast, and the monstrous killing intent surrounded it like a substance. Even outside the seal, Naruto could feel a burst of pressure. What kind of existence? Hehe, one of the 10 tails. The pet of the 6 paths. The little fox in the eyes of Senju Hashirama. Uchiha Madara's psychic beast. Konoha's Jinchuriki. You have many identities, but none of them it is worthy of my fear. What do you think? 9 llamas. Naruto said disdainfully. Kyuubi was stunned when he heard the words, and a trace of solemnity flashed in his eyes. Who are you? How do you know so much? It's impossible for those ninjas to tell you, and Jiwei, Rokudao, my name, why do you know it? Tell me, who told you that? It didn't expect Naruto to know its identity, even its name. No. So what if I tell you, Kyuubi, the times outside are not what you remember. The future world will appear, whether it is a kaleidoscope Sharingan, an eternal kaleidoscope Sharingan, or even a reincarnation, even Uchiha Madara, will be resurrected. Their purpose is to collect tailed beasts to form 10 tails. Neither you nor I will be able to survive. How about we cooperate? Quote. The corners of Naruto's mouth curled up slightly, and a trace of heat flashed in his eyes as he looked at Kyuubi. Reincarnation eyes. The old man's eyes. Will Uchiha Madara be resurrected? Kyuubi cursed. It's not that he never thought of doubting Naruto's words, but the other party doesn't seem to need to deceive him, and he doesn't know why recently he always feels that someone is designing for him. How about it, 9 tails, cooperate? This is a matter of our lives. Although you will not die yourself, you will never be able to get out if 10 tails is in one day. Naruto said again. No, 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 although I have no doubts about what you said, but you must tell me why you know my name and the old man, otherwise I will not agree. To Naruto's surprise, Kyuubi neither agreed nor refused. It's clear that unless Naruto tells him he knows why, he won't agree to cooperate even if he dies. Must know. Naruto frowned. This matter was beyond his expectation. Must. Kyuubi is very insistent on this point. Naruto shook his head helplessly, and said, Can, you should be familiar with Asura, right? I am the Asura of this generation. You, Asura. Kyuubi was taken aback, then sneezed disdainfully. It's just farting. I don't know who Asura is. He is completely different from you. That's because I wiped out his character. I'm Uzumaki Naruto, not Asura, understand? I'm just the reincarnation of Asura Chakra, but not Asura. Naruto said with a cold snort. What do you have to prove? Kyuubi squinted his eyes and said lightly. You don't feel it yourself. After all, it's a tailed beast, so you can't even do this. Naruto said disdainfully. You. A trace of anger flashed in the pupils of the nine-tailed fox, and he snorted coldly, but he didn't say anything else, and began to use the secret method to feel whether Naruto really had Asura's chakra in his body. It wasn't that he couldn't tell Naruto's identity in the past, but it wasn't necessary. For Kyuubi, it wasn't interested in Indra's reincarnation or Asura's reincarnation. It's different now, if his Jinjuli is really the reincarnation of Asura. Then, Yoshihisa. Kyuubi glanced at Naruto with complicated eyes. I see, I will lend my power to you in the future, the reincarnation of Asura. I hope you can let me out in the future. Asura is the past, my name is Naruto in this life, please call me by my name. Naruto frowned and said seriously. I see, Kyuubi replied, and then stopped talking. That's good, thanks, Ju-lama. Naruto showed a smile, then he paused and disappeared in front of Kyuubi. The sky is changing. Kyuubi looked at the direction where Naruto disappeared, and said in a daze, when the Asura of Saint Heart becomes dark, that is the real Asura, who can stop him except 6 paths. But these have nothing to do with it. It wished that everyone in the ninja world would die. Moreover, he is quite satisfied with Naruto's character. This world is not suitable for people like Asura to live in. If it weren't for his strength, he would have died long ago. At the same time, Naruto, who had just finished communicating with him, also returned to reality. 9 tails. Unexpectedly good. Looking at the sun outside the window, Naruto said with a smile. Although it is somewhat different from the Tsunere fox in the original book, it is still possible to get along with each other. But I'm going to school too. Naruto got up, ate something and rushed to school. It may be that Naruto came late. After all, daily practice takes up a long time, and today I even communicated with Kyuubi for a while, and all the students in the class except him also arrived. Before the teacher came, they chatted with smiles all over their faces. Everyone looked relaxed, and the class laughed loudly from time to time. Uchiha Sasuke is still sitting alone in his seat. He has no friends and is unwilling to make friends with anyone else in the class. As the son of the patriarch of the Uchiha clan, he has this pride. But maybe it was also because of this reason that there were a lot of girls next to him, looking at him with spring-like eyes, beautiful eyes flowing, revealing a style that is not at all present at this age. Da da da. The sudden sound of footsteps aroused the vigilance of these students. Everyone thought it was the teacher coming, and they didn't dare to breathe. They looked at the blackboard seriously. Thought they were good kids. However, unlike what they had imagined, the person who came was a blonde boy in black sportswear instead of Iruka. TCH, it's this monster, I'm scared. He really has the face to stay in this place, he's just the tail of a crane. Okay, don't say it, it will be bad if he hears it. It's good to hear it when you hear it, and don't let people talk about it. Seeing that the person who came was Uzumaki Naruto, the quiet class began to whisper again, but the voice became louder from time to time, as if afraid that Naruto would not hear. Ha ha. Naruto's expression was indifferent, and there seemed to be a bit of sarcasm at the corner of his mouth. Unlike Naruto in the original book, his chakra was not affected at all, and the poor grades he showed during school were also intentional. The basic ninjutsu that is small but very powerful has already been cultivated to a very deep level by him. Otherwise, it would be a bit difficult to express the scene in Naruto's original book. You ask him why he did this. He didn't want to give up the opportunity to watch the Forbidden Scroll for the sake of face. Mr. Naruto, Hinata looked at Naruto worriedly, but judging from his eyes, he didn't seem to take those people's ridicule to heart. Silently breathed a sigh of relief, as long as Naruto-kun is fine. But she didn't seem to notice the disdain and aloofness hidden deep in Naruto's eyes. With his hands in his pockets, Naruto walked indifferently through the aisle of the class, and the students beside him also retreated involuntarily to the outside of the aisle, as if they were afraid that Naruto would touch them. The disgust and indifference in his eyes were completely shown. That's right, it's this kind of emotion, I like it very much, so that when I do something in the future, I won't have compassion. Naruto sneered in his heart, and walked to his seat with a flat face. Haruno Sakura sat in the front row of Naruto and Sasuke. When Naruto passed by her, although she didn't show any disgusted expression on her face, her body subconsciously turned to the side. Naruto glanced at her indifferently, then quickly looked away, then passed her directly, returned to his seat, and then began to close his eyes and rest. The class gradually became noisy. Hey, Naruto, why do I feel that you are happy today? Hearing the sound, Naruto opened his eyes, and looked to the left, and Ino was sitting next to him at some point. It's none of your business. Naruto said lightly. Cut, stingy, isn't he a bad parent? Ino pouted. I don't think a 6-year-old girl is attractive. Naruto said lightly. HMPH. Ino snorted coldly, shook his hand and left. Well, wild boar, how are you going today? Haruno Sakura hurriedly grabbed Ino, leaned her head closer and pointed at Naruto in a low voice. Don't you think Naruto is very interesting? Besides, aside from those 6 beards, Naruto is actually very handsome, right? Ino was quite excited when he mentioned this. Naruto, handsome, really? Haruno Sakura twitched. She couldn't associate Naruto with Shuai. In her eyes, only Sasuke Uchiha was the most handsome in the class. TCH, anyway, you should continue to like Sasuke. Ino waved his hand, as if he didn't care about Sasuke at all. His eyes were full of curiosity about Naruto. Time flies. A few hours ended under the teacher's chattering lectures. When the get out of class bell rang, all the more active male students in the class rushed out, while the girls circled around Sasuke Uchiha. Naruto didn't leave his seat. A pen kept spinning in his right hand, while his left hand supported his head as if he was thinking about something. Chakra and Shantianyiki seemed to have reached the level of ordinary ninja without knowing it. The complementarity between them is really unimaginable. Naruto was also quite surprised by this. After all, even with the vortex physique and Nine Tails Jinchuriki, he is only a 6-year-old child, so it can only be said that he is worthy of double cultivation. Chapter 11. Tong Tianlu has also mastered some basic talismans. The powerful ones are about the same as sea-level ninjutsu. Those who summon dragons, those who invite gods, those who subdue demons. As for ninjutsu, in addition to the Sanshenjutsu, the spiral pill in the original book has been researched, but the time is still short, and more proficiency is needed, but this is nothing, my time is very long. Quote. Naruto smiled, the feeling of becoming stronger is really good. But Naruto's smile was noticed by Ino. So handsome, woo. Ino subconsciously said something, and immediately covered his face after reacting. What a shame. She was stunned by Naruto's handsomeness, really, but to be honest, at that moment just now, Naruto seemed to be more attractive than Sasuke. Ino thought to himself. Ino and Sakura are not far away. Even though she is surrounded by Sasuke, it doesn't mean that she will ignore her biggest enemy, so she naturally noticed Ino's behavior. Strange. Ino seems to be shy. Why is she shy? The direction she looked at just now seems to be Naruto. She is shy to Naruto. No way. Could it be? Sakura guessed in disbelief. Ino doesn't like Naruto, does she? Has her vision dropped to this point? That's Naruto. But that's fine, without her, the possibility of me catching up to Sasuke is even greater. Sakura said happily. Classes at the ninja school were extremely boring. Most of the students in the class were drowsy, and of course the time passed quietly in the process. After school bell rings, Naruto picked up his school bag and walked directly to the door. The only thing Naruto thinks is great is that the ninja school will not procrastinate. On the way, there will be many villagers and even children pointing at him habitually, and he can feel all the strange eyes, disgusting emotions, and inner hatred. But Naruto didn't care anymore. and he didn't cast the 7-day death talisman on anyone. As for the 6 people before, they died naturally. The reason is probably because they were guessed to have offended the princess of the Hyuga clan. Anyway, no one will associate it with Naruto. Naruto did not go home, but went to the independent training ground set up behind the Ninja Academy, where he has been training every night since he started school. Running with weights, push-ups, pull-ups, leapfrog, plank. He almost knows how to train these common sports in his previous life, and he trains to death. He doesn't know how much he has done, and he won't count these useless things. He just wants to die. Anyway, with 9 tails around, he will fully recover in a few hours, and there will be no hidden injuries, something like this. This is one of his reasons for doing so. At this moment, in Hokage's office, an old man wearing a Hokage hat and sitting behind the desk, and a man standing in front of the desk with a flat temperament, silver hair, wearing a mask, and covering his left eye with a forehead, quietly watching the table on a crystal ball. The scene shown on the crystal ball is exactly the scene of Naruto training in the training ground. What do you think, Kakashi? The scene on the crystal ball disappeared, his face was covered with wrinkles, and even had age spots. Some old Hokage looked at the silver-haired man wearing an animal mask in front of him. It's the teacher's son. I haven't investigated it, but judging from the scene just now, his perseverance is very strong. Kakashi said in admiration. A child of 7 or 8 years old, even he has never trained so desperately. And looking at the other party's proficiency, it seems that it is not the first time to do it. If you have to find someone to compare with him, Kai should be the only one in Konoha. The kid Naruto has no talent in ninjutsu, maybe it is because of this reason that he is so desperate in physical skills. Third Hokage Hiruza Sarutobi said regretfully. However, it is a pity that there is also a bit of happiness hidden in the depths. If Naruto is really as good as his father, maybe. But fortunately, he has no talent in ninjutsu, and he can't even master the most basic avatar technique. It should be the reason for Kyuubi. That's fine. It is not difficult to maintain such efforts and reach the level of Mat K in the future. Hiruzaru Sarutobi nodded in satisfaction, but Konoha cannot be threatened in terms of taijutsu, and the surveillance on Naruto's side can really be cancelled. Although he ordered it as early as 2 years ago, it didn't take long for Danzo to start ignoring him. Now even he can't change my decision, right? After all, taijutsu cannot threaten Konoha. It shouldn't be as simple as observing Naruto Uzumaki when Hokage asked me to come over, right? Kakashi saw the third Hokage staring at the crystal ball, and said hesitantly. Of course, my purpose is to assign Naruto to your class in the future. Apart from you, I can hardly imagine anyone more suitable. Hiruzaru Sarutobi looked away, nodded and said. But, I'm still working in Anbu now, and it's too early to talk about the class placement after graduation. Kakashi asked puzzled. You are wrong, Kakashi, the division of classes is not as simple as you imagined. The combination of you, Obito Uchiha and Rin Nohara was actually something we thought about carefully. You were very similar to Orochimaru at the time, both in talent and character. Obito had a similar personality to Jiraiya. I also trained her as Tsunade Nohara Rin. The 3 of you are the next generation of Konoha Sannin chosen by me. But, it's a pity. Sarutobi shook his head regretfully as he spoke. A gloomy look flashed across Kakashi's eyes. Unfortunately, apart from him, Lin and Obito were all dead, and he didn't protect anyone well. Although Hiruzaru Sarutobi said it was a pity, he has been observing Kakashi's reaction. Unsurprisingly, it was still so decadent. A trace of disappointment flashed in Sarutobi's eyes. Hatake Kakashi, the Konoha genius who graduated at the age of 5 to become a genin, became a chunin at the age of 6, and was promoted to a jonin at the age of 12, he gave a lot of expectations. But after the death of his teammates, he has been indulging in decadence, and his strength has risen very slowly. He, ruined. The third Hokage sighed secretly. Let's not talk about that. The 3 ninjas I selected this year are Uzumaki Naruto, Uchiha Sasuke and Haruno Sakura. I believe they will be a good combination. Haruno Sakura. Kakashi froze for a moment. Uchiha Sasuke could think of the reason, but Haruno Sakura. Why? The child's identity is a bit unusual, and you will know this when you have a chance in the future. Sarutobi was silent for a while, and said, if Haruno Sakura hadn't been found by accident, he would not have known that this child actually had the blood of the Sensho clan in his body. That's it, I know Hokage-sama. Kakashi nodded. Has surveillance been cancelled? Naruto, who was training, glanced in the direction of the Hokage building calmly. Sure enough, at the beginning, he didn't believe Hiruza Sarutobi and the others were right to withdraw the surveillance. It took only a few days to return to the way it was before, talking like a fart. Fortunately, out of caution, he never showed his strength in other places, otherwise, those wastes in the Ninja Academy could also call him the tail of the crane. A trace of disdain appeared at the corner of Naruto's mouth, but he quickly restrained himself and continued training. He didn't have time to continue laughing at those people. What he pursued was more than destroying Konoha, Asura, Indra, Mutun and even the Eye of Reincarnation. He has the opportunity and the ability. The two sons of the Immortal of the Six Paths, the eldest son Indra inherited the immortal eye representing spiritual energy, and the second son Asura inherited the immortal body which represented physical energy and had a huge vitality. And he Uzumaki Naruto is the reincarnation of Ashura's chakra, the second son of the Sage of the Six Paths. As the reincarnation of Ashura's chakra, this body has unique advantages. Immortal body is his advantage. Uchiha Madara, the previous reincarnation of Indra chakra, why can he open the eyes of reincarnation? Wasn't it because of the transplantation of the cells of Asura's reincarnation Senshujujin, in a disguised form, he gained the opponent's power? The combination of Indra and Asura, the combination of the body of a sage and the eyes of a sage can give birth to those eyes of a god. That is to say, as long as he can get the power of Indra, and have the chakra that belongs to Asura gradually guided by this body, he has a great chance of getting the Eye of Reincarnation. But this is the future, the most important thing now is how to destroy this disgusting village. It's just that Kyuubi's words were too quick. Such a death is too kind to you. If you don't experience pain, how can you understand your own stupidity? Right. Time passed day by day, and the beginning of graduation, which was still very far away from Naruto, came as scheduled. Today, even Naruto can't help being a little excited. Of course, what excited me was not the exam, but the sealed book. Seriously, he has been waiting for this day for too long. Flying Thunder God, Dirty Earth Reincarnation, and Shadow Clone are too many forbidden techniques that he wants to know. So, it went well. Except for physical skills, whether it is theoretical knowledge, shuriken or avatar, he is all unqualified, and of course he failed in graduation. But let alone, it is really rare to fail the exam. Theoretical knowledge is okay, and I can make mistakes on purpose, but the muscle memory of ninjutsu and shuriken is too deep. If he didn't suppress it deliberately, not to mention full marks, it would definitely be very easy to pass. He spent more time talking about these things than anyone in ninja school, including Sasuke Uchiha. After the exam, those who passed the exam proudly told their parents about their grades. Did they fail? Naturally, I hurried home, ashamed to stay at the school gate. But one thing is unified. At least they look at Naruto with surprisingly consistent eyes, as expected, sneer, ridicule, disdain. Don't they love nothing more than seeing Naruto's misfortune? Ha ha. Naruto was sitting on the swing, looking at the figures walking around the school gate with a flat gaze, and as Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, he could naturally feel their emotions. In this regard, he is not surprised. Humans, aren't they just such creatures? Naruto, you are here. Suddenly, a young man in Chunin costume walked towards Naruto, looking at Naruto with a hint of excitement, as if some wish of his was about to be fulfilled. Mr. Mizuki, why are you here? Naruto seemed to be very surprised, and said knowingly, Teacher Mizuki, is there anything I need to do? But I probably can't help you. After all, I'm just the tail of a crane, and I can't even pass the ninja test. Yeah, you are a waste, but you can help me seek refuge with Oshimaru-sama, thank you, Yahoo! Mizuki said disdainfully in his heart, but on the surface he didn't show the slightest expression, but asked seductively, Naruto, will you be disappointed if you fail the graduation exam this time? Disappointed, unwilling. Naruto smiled inwardly, but on the surface he pretended to be dejected. What else can I do? I just fail the exam. I can't learn ninjutsu at all. Seeing Naruto's expression, Mizuki couldn't help but raise the corner of his mouth. That's great. Cough cough. Mizuki coughed twice, cleared his throat, and said to Naruto pretending to be serious, Naruto, Mr. Mizuki is not unreasonable, now there is a chance for you to graduate, would you like to try it? But some difficulty. Really, what is it? I'm not afraid of difficulties. Naruto's eyes lit up, his body couldn't help but tremble with excitement, the details were handled, full marks. It's not suitable to talk here, and we can't let others know about it. Let's go, the teacher will take you to a safer place, and I will tell you about the specific tasks later. Mizuki swept around and said in a low voice. Okay, Mizuki-sensei. At night, the night is dark and windy, and the sky is full of clouds and mist. A blonde figure entered the Hokage building, and soon there was the sound of objects moving inside the Hokage building, as if someone was rummaging and moving something inside. Not long after, the blonde figure, carrying a large scroll, quickly swept towards the north gate of the village, and quickly disappeared into the night. After leaving the village, he walked eastward for about 6 or 7 kilometers, and the figure stopped when he saw the wooden house. This is definitely arranged by Sarutobi Hiruza. It's too much water without even a guard. Naruto took off the scroll and couldn't help complaining. How could such an important thing as the Book of Seals be left unattended? Sarutobi Hiruzen would make such a mistake. Fortunately, Mizuki thought that everything was in his calculations, and that old fox Sarutobi Hiruza must have already seen it. But this has nothing to do with me. I hope it's not just a ninjutsu of multiple shadow clones as some people in the previous life guessed. Naruto took a deep breath, quickly opened the sealed book, and carefully memorized the ninjutsu on it. Multiple shadow clone jutsu, shuriken shadow clone jutsu, spiral pill, chidori. 4-image seal, 8 diagram seal. The art of reincarnation in the dirty soil, the 8 gates dungeon. Wooden dungeon. The art of wooden dragon, wooden dungeon, the arrival of the tree realm, wooden dungeon. Good guy, wood done is directly engraved on it, so it's really a forbidden technique. Mewtwo Naruto can do it with one sweep, and his powerful memory allows him to memorize all these ninjutsu in an instant. But, Naruto frowned, why didn't he have the technique of flying thunder? Indeed, the Book of Seals is worthy of being a forbidden technique. There are dozens of S-level ninjutsu on it, and hundreds of A-level ninjutsu. Reincarnation of Dirty Earth and Bamindungia are also engraved on it. But why is there no flying Thor? Against me. Naruto thought of this reason in his mind, but he directly denied it. It doesn't make sense. If it's against me, these ninjutsu should not appear on it except for the shadow clone. It doesn't make sense, and I haven't exposed my ninjutsu talent from the beginning to the end. With Kyuubi as an excuse, even Sarutobi would never doubt it. Quote. So, why? Was the flying thunder god, or was it erased on purpose? Forget it, let's talk about it later. It's a big deal. I'll meet that man when I go back. A trace of complexity flashed in Naruto's eyes, and then he slowly closed the scroll. The ninjutsu in it is now in his mind, and he must learn it, but he can't expose it until he is strong enough. Is someone here, Iruka? Naruto's ears moved slightly, he glanced slightly in the direction of the front left, and then retracted instantly. At this moment, a familiar voice with a trace of anger sounded. Naruto. Naruto turned his head and said with a smile. It's Iruka-sensei, I've completed the task, and I've stolen the sealed book. What do you mean, Naruto? What are you talking about? The sealed book. Iruka was stunned for a moment, listening to Naruto's explanation. Why did he feel something was wrong, and what task? Naruto didn't even graduate, what kind of mission can he have? And why is he not surprised to see himself? Yeah, didn't you ask me to retake the exam? You said that you can graduate as long as you get the sealed book. Naruto told Iruka exactly what Mizuki said. Iruka's eyes widened, a hint of surprise appeared on his face. It was Naruto who told you. How come I never remember that there was an arrangement for you to retake the exam? It's Mizuki-sensei. Mizuki-sensei told me about the place where the sealed book is placed in this place. How could Iruka-sensei not know? Naruto also pretended to be strange and said, that almost wrote the word, innocent, on his face. Mizuki, how could it be, could it be? Iruka suddenly felt something bad. Whoosh whoosh, there was a sudden sound of piercing the air from the sides of the two of them. It was the sound of a sharp weapon piercing the air, such as shuriken and other ninja tools. Naruto, get out of the way. Iruka shouted loudly and pushed Naruto away with all his might. What? All the flying shurikens pierced him, and he screamed. Iruka, thank you for finding this place. A man with a sneer slowly emerged from the darkness. Iruka endured the pain in his body and looked in the direction of the sound, gritted his teeth and said, Mizuki, it really is you. Haha, I was discovered by you, Iruka, but in the current situation, even if you find out, it won't help, right? Mizuki smiled disdainfully, then looked at Naruto, stretched out his hand and said, Naruto, put the seal on, give me the book. Absolutely don't give it to him. Naruto, the Book of Seals contains some powerful forbidden techniques sealed by the previous Hokage-sama. Iruka shouted loudly. Naruto, don't listen to Iruka's nonsense, he is afraid that you will get the sealed book. Mizuki immediately scolded. Naruto took a deep look at Iruka, although he knew it, but seeing it in reality was another matter. He didn't expect that there would be such a teacher in the world who would push the student out when the shuriken arrived. Mizuki's shuriken is easy to dodge with his strength, but maybe it's really Iruka's kindness to him all these years that made his heart tremble slightly, so this is his last test for Iruka. And Iruka did not disappoint him. Iruka, no matter what the future holds, you will always be my teacher Uzumaki Naruto. Naruto said silently in his heart. On the other side, seeing Naruto in a daze, Mizuki frowned slightly, then seemed to think of something, and evoked an evil smile. Naruto, do you know why all the adults in the village hate you? Do you know why they call you a monster? That's a secret that the whole village knows but can't tell you Uzumaki Naruto. Mizuki, what are you doing? You can't say that. Iruka's face changed, and he yelled at Mizuki anxiously. Seeing Iruka's expression getting more and more complacent, Mizuki couldn't help saying, the secret is. I have no interest in that secret at all. Naruto glanced at Mizuki and said flatly. It's nothing more than Kyuubi's business, it's better not to listen to it. Mizuki and Iruka were stunned. You don't want to know. Mizuki said in shock, why? That is a secret that the whole Konoha knows but you, Naruto Uzumaki, cannot know. So what if we know? Can we close their mouths if we know? Or can the situation change? Naruto glanced at Iruka lightly. Forget it, Uzumaki Naruto. Give me the sealed book, and I will give it to Oshimaru-sama. Do you know who Oshimaru-sama is? That is one of the legendary Sannin. Help, the destruction of Konoha is just around the corner. I think you should have the same idea. Mizuki froze for a moment, and then said to Naruto in a different way. In his cognition, Naruto has absolutely no liking for Konoha, and he must hope that someone can destroy Konoha. Indeed, Naruto did have the idea of destroying Konoha, but he hoped that that person was himself. Naruto. Iruka showed worry. I'm sorry, Mr. Mizuki, I'm not interested in your words at all. Konoha is my home, and it's impossible for me to destroy my home. Naruto said solemnly, his eyes full of sincerity. You. Why, what's so good about Konoha? I think you were hypnotized by Konoha. Mizuki's face immediately darkened, looked at Naruto, and said coldly, since you don't listen to what you say, don't blame me. No one will feel sad for you when you die. Then it's none of your business, Mizuki-sensei. Naruto said flatly. Or, Mr. Mizuki, you should worry about yourself. I don't think you can beat me. Mizuki was stunned when he heard Naruto's words, with a hint of sarcasm on his face. He chuckled and said, you kind of rubbish, the guy who is enduring the end of the school crane wants to beat me. I will let you do it without a single hand, possible. Naruto, run, Iruka said anxiously to Naruto. Mizuki is a chunin, you are not his opponent, run away. It's okay, Mr. Iruka. In fact, I just learned 2 ninjutsu from that book. I should be able to deal with Mizuki-sensei. Naruto showed his sun-like smile to Iruka. Naruto, you. Iruka wanted to say something, but when he saw Naruto's face, he took back what he wanted to say, and an inexplicable voice told him that Naruto did not lie. Perhaps, Naruto can really defeat Mizuki. Ha ha ha, you want to defeat me after learning 2 ninjutsu. You underestimate me too much. It's really shameless, but since you don't want to die, then I will fulfill you. Mizuki laughed twice. Naruto, the crane tail at the ninja school, was boasting in front of him. Psychedelic charm. Jammer. Naruto ignored Mizuki, who was crazily laughing at him, and directly dropped 2 talismans on his hands. The psychedelic talisman is to create an illusion created by Naruto for Iruka, and the distraction talisman is to prevent the old guy Sarutobi Hiruzen from peeping. He wanted to have a good intimacy with Mizuki-sensei. How could anyone disturb him, right? As for whether there are ninjas from Anbu and Genbu in this place now. No, Naruto is very sure of this, no one else. Kagura Shinyen gave him this confidence. Then, it's up to you next, Mr. Mizuki. For the sake of the sealed book, I will thank you very much. Naruto smiled at Mizuki. Don't be ashamed, Naruto, go to hell. Mizuki shouted loudly, and Dang even rushed towards Naruto. The distance between the two was not that far away, so rushing forward, they approached each other almost instantly. Naruto's eyes were narrowed slightly, his body was slightly on one side, his entire back was tensed like a big bow. He clenched his fist, and punched out from the ribs. Boom! The terrifying sound of piercing the air instantly blasted the air, and his fist pierced through the air like an arrow. Mizuki was shocked and reacted immediately, wanting to dodge to the right, but Naruto's speed was beyond his expectation. He was much faster than him. Boom! This punch hit his stomach hard, bending Mizuki's body. A gleam of light flashed in his eyes, and Naruto hugged Mizuki's waist in one step at the moment Mizuki's body bent. Then he used his arms to hug Mizuki, turned around, and threw him back violently. Oh, this time, Mizuki's head was hugged and smashed to the ground directly. Mizuki couldn't even utter a scream, and passed out directly. He had neglected the training during his years as a Chunin teacher, and his strength was nothing more than that. Cut, what a waste, my fighting skills are even inferior to mine. Naruto said disdainfully. In his eyes, except for a few taijutsu ninjas and powerhouses in the entire Naruto world, most of them neglect their own bodies, thinking that ninjutsu is enough. Disregarding the basics, both physical and spiritual practice are indispensable. Without a strong body, excessive consumption of one's spiritual energy. That is to spend one's life to practice, it is better not to practice. It's just me, it's useless to say it, although I can't kill you, but you don't want to wake up in this life. Shinhan Talisman. Naruto drew a black rune with his right hand, and integrated it into Mizuki's body. The process was very smooth, without the slightest pain. After all, this kind of talisman speaks of an unconsciousness, which makes people hard to guard against. Clap. Iruka-sensei, are you alright? After finishing Mizuki, Naruto came to Iruka and snapped his fingers lightly. Oh, I'm fine. Iruka woke up from the illusion, and saw Naruto and Mizuki, who was unconscious beside him, without any surprise. No, Iruka-sensei, I'm asking about your injuries. Naruto smiled helplessly. He was focused on solving Mizuki just now but forgot to get a healing charm or a hemostatic charm for Mr. Iruka. Fortunately, the shuriken did not cause much damage to Mr. Iruka. Leave that kind of thing alone. Iruka shook his hand, and then happily said to Naruto, Naruto, I didn't expect you to be able to learn the ninjutsu on the Book of Seals, and even defeated Mizuki. Your current strength is completely capable of graduating. Congratulations, Naruto. He was really happy for Naruto from the bottom of his heart, and he was the saddest person in Konoha even before Naruto graduated. It was just a fluke that I was able to defeat Mr. Mizuki, and the technique of multiple shadow clones is more suitable for me. I was born with a large chakra, so I can create many clones. Mr. Mizuki is also hard to beat with 2 fists and 4 hands. I am not Mizuki one-on-one, teacher's opponent. Naruto said modestly, without blinking his eyes when he spoke. That's great too. Iruka didn't have any special reaction. The scene he saw in the environment was the scene in the original book where Naruto defeated Mizuki using the technique of multiple shadow clones. Wait, Naruto, what did you just say? You learned that ninjutsu from the Book of Seals. Just learned it. Iruka suddenly reacted, and looked at Naruto with strange eyes. Yes, Naruto nodded slightly. Really? Wait, then why can't you learn the avatar technique? Iruka asked curiously. I don't know. Naruto shook his head, indicating that he didn't know either. Forget it. Anyway, congratulations, Naruto. Iruka smiled, then took off the forehead guard on his forehead, and put it on Naruto himself. Naruto, from today onwards, you are a ninja in your own right. Uruka smiled happily and was very relieved. He really regarded Naruto as his relative. Thank you, Uruka-sensei. No matter what the future holds, I will always remember this day. Naruto bowed deeply to Uruka from the bottom of his heart. He has seen everything Uruka has done for him these years. He is not an emotional person, but he is from the heart to Uruka respect. Why are you being polite to me? Well, to celebrate your successful graduation, the teacher invites you to eat ramen. Uruka scoffed with a smile. Well, I think it's better for you to treat the injury first, teacher. Naruto said helplessly. This little injury is fine, okay, let's go, the teacher invites you to eat ramen. In the early morning of the next day, Naruto and Uruka returned to the village, and Naruto put the sealed book back to its original place. The ninjutsu in it was all in his mind, and it was useless to keep it. There was no response from Sarutobi Hiruzen. Although many people asked to punish Naruto, they were all suppressed by Sarutobi Hiruzen. The group didn't say anything about it. Perhaps, this was originally one of their plans. Instead, Uruka was invited away by the Anbu people. Naruto guessed that it should be because he used the jammer to block the crystal ball of the third generation. After all, the sudden loss of control of the crystal ball, which has never been a problem before, is suspicious, but Naruto is not worried, because no matter how much they question Uruka, they will only talk about the experience they saw in the illusion. And in order to prevent Hiruzuru Sarutobi from suspecting him, he also set up a number of interference symbols in various corners of Konoha, especially Hiruzuru Sarutobi's favorite female bathhouse. It is estimated that Sarutobi will not be able to see anything with his crystal ball for a long time. After signing those bullshit guarantees at the Hokage building, it's already night. Naruto returned to the place where he lived, closed the door, put on his house slippers, and walked into the house. The house is not big, but it is well equipped with all internal organs and the furniture is very neat. It doesn't look like a 12-year-old boy's home at all. Naruto skillfully took out eggs, bread, milk, and tomatoes from the refrigerator. Heat up the pan, put fried eggs, bread, tomato slices, sandwich the fried eggs and tomato slices with bread. Insert the milk into the straw, and finish the sandwich while drinking the milk. Although I went to eat eel ramen with Uruka late last night, but I spent a whole day at the Hokage building in the morning and those noodles were already digested. And Sarutobi's living expenses for Naruto are not much, only 3,000 a month, which is no different from 7 or 8 years ago. Now the price is also rising. Anyway, Naruto dare not buy meat. Most of the time he went hunting. Anyway, he had properly exposed his physical strength, so he was not afraid of Yuanfei's suspicion. After eating and taking a shower, he put the changed clothes to dry, turned off the light, and Naruto lay on the bed. He didn't practice today, he was going to see someone. The dark room was unusually quiet, but Naruto's consciousness appeared in a certain sewer. The sealed space in the four-elephant seal. A demon fox that was covered in red, exuding mania, hatred and other terrifying auras was lying in a huge steel cage. 9 Tails. As if sensing that someone had entered the sealed space, 9 Tails' ears shook slightly while lying on the water. Why are you here? Didn't you say you have something to prepare? Are you done? Kyuubi opened his eyes, glanced at Naruto, and then slowly closed them again. The process went smoothly, but I didn't get the flying thunder god I wanted most. Naruto shook his head with a wry smile, then skillfully stepped over the sealed gate, and slowly lay down on 9 Tails' fur. Hey, boy, your movements are getting more and more proficient. 9 Tails' body paused for a moment, and then there was no reaction. Acquaintance once an acquaintance, we have known each other for 5 or 6 years, besides you, I have nothing to rely on in this world. Naruto said with his head resting on Kyuubi's belly, smiling. You guy. Kyuubi shook his head, it has lived in the ninja world for so many years, besides Naruto, only his incomprehensible mother can talk to him, but that woman's temper is too violent, coupled with its temper it's not good, so the chatting time is not long every time. To make friends, Uzumaki Naruto is the first. It's also quite funny, the monster and destroyer in the eyes of the world, has become a person's most trusted person, and has become his reliance, this world awe. Wait, boy, I remember that flying thunder god seems to be your father's ninjutsu. Kyuubi suddenly remembered that he seemed to have heard this ninjutsu when he was arguing with that irritable woman, and when Naruto was born, that guy used Flying Thunder God to defeat it. It's not considered a defeat, but it can only be said that they are each other. Its tailed beast Jade can't attack him, and he can't cause substantial damage to himself. Father, he's not my father. Naruto's eyes flashed a little complicated, and he shook his head, not only because his real father was in another world, but more because he couldn't accept Namikaze Minato's behavior. Perhaps in the eyes of others, Namikaze Minato's actions are great and in line with Hokage's principles, but for Naruto, disgust and hatred are the attitudes he shares with his predecessor. Besides, don't those villagers all say that I am a monster? How could the son of the dignified fourth Hokage be a monster? So I am definitely not. Naruto smiled and patted Kyuubi's body. TCH, I'm not interested in your human's twists and turns, but why do you like that ninjutsu called Flying Thunder God so much? There should be something stronger than it. Kyuubi curled his lips, but after speaking, he became a little curious. Time is respected, space is king, fate does not come out, cause and effect are emperors, imitation does not appear, who doesn't want the ability to be at the apex of the world? The power of time in this world, I can't think of anything other than dragon veins, but I don't think dragon veins can allow me to master the power of time and space. In addition to the pupil technique extended by the kaleidoscope, probably only substitutes and Flying Thunder Gods, but substitutes the meager space utilization of the technique can't help me much. Although I am confident that I can get the kaleidoscope, I am not sure that the extended pupil technique will touch the space. I won't talk about other fate, cause and effect, imitation, devouring, and power. Either they don't have it or they have after effects, which don't help me much. Quote. Naruto answered Kyuubi's question in great detail. Of course, all of the above can be obtained in the system, but let's not say that he has no energy points at all. Even if he redeems the system, it will not help him achieve it overnight. He still has to train himself, unless he spends energy points to upgrade. And the energy points required far exceed the lottery. According to the system, it is a lottery system, and the exchange function is also because Naruto is in the Naruto world. Breaking boundaries and optimizing items should not be its function. There is a greater price to pay for using nature. It was at this price that Naruto made up his mind that he would never use those functions except in special circumstances. However, Naruto doesn't feel sorry for this. For him, only one chance is enough, and he can fight for the rest by himself. However, Naruto had doubts a little bit, because since the belief of all beings can create the lottery system, are the rest such as the system of crossing the world, the mission system of the heavens, the exchange system, the live broadcast system, and even the main god space, the dimensional guild, and the devouring protagonist system. Will there be? He also asked the system. However, the system sincerely expresses that it does not know, it may or may not exist. Human beliefs and fantasies are subject to change at any time, and what one believes in today may be changed tomorrow. It can appear from fantasy to reality mainly because almost all systems have the function of lottery, and the concept of lottery itself is also very common in the human world. So it's possible, but unlikely, for the rest of the system to materialize into reality, and if it does, it can sense it. Taking a deep breath, Naruto temporarily put aside the matter of the system, pretending not to care, and asked Kyuubi. By the way, Ju Lama, do you want to go out? Why do you ask this all of a sudden? Kyuubi glanced at Naruto and asked back. Can't you be curious? Besides, don't you always want to go out? Naruto shrugged. Forget it, you will die if I go out. Besides, even if I go out, I have nowhere to go. It's good to be here. Kyuubi closed his eyes and said, it must face the pursuit of ninjas in various villages. When it goes out, it might as well stay in Naruto's body. Wait, Kyuubi seemed to have thought of something, and suddenly opened his eyes, with a hint of doubt in the depths of his eyes. Could it be you? I can't help it. If I don't know that ninjutsu, I really don't feel safe. Naruto smiled, stood up and walked outside the iron fence, looked complicatedly at the mysterious rune above the iron fence, bent his knees and squatted, and immediately jumped up with strength. Kyuubi suddenly shrank his pupils. Hiss. There was the sound of some kind of paper being torn, and a seal talisman fell along with Naruto. Are you crazy? Kyuubi frowned. Although it didn't want to go out at all now, there is a difference between having a seal and not having a seal. What if it really couldn't hold back and went out one day? I've said it all, 9 llamas, it's not for you. Naruto shrugged and looked at the sealing talisman in his hand. Suddenly, a golden light flashed through the sealing talisman. It's true that I don't remember many places in Hokage very clearly, but I can't forget the scene where the father and son met. Naruto was not surprised. As he said, he did not tear the seal to let Kyuubi go out, he just wanted to get Flying Raijin from Namikaze Minato. Without Flying Raijin, he would not have much confidence in protecting his own life, and he would not dare to expose many methods. Moreover, he is very afraid of Uchiha Obito's divine power. That bug-like ability makes it hard to hurt him. But he has been hesitant about how to treat his parents in this life. As he said before, it is understandable but unacceptable. But for the sake of Fei Lei Shen, he can't control so much, and he even made up his mind that if Namikaze Minato doesn't give him, he won't show mercy. It's just an illusion of chakra. In the final analysis, it is the remnant of spiritual power. There are too many methods in the talismans he has mastered to capture Namikaze Minato's memory. Under Naruto's gaze, a blonde young man wearing a Konoha vest and a royal robe suddenly appeared. It was Namikaze Minato. Boom! Kyuubi couldn't help but riot the moment he saw Namikaze Minato. The enemy is particularly jealous when they meet. Manic chakra overflowed from Kyuubi's body continuously, the red animal pupils stared at the blonde voice, and the sharp claws were covered with chakra, as if wanting to crush the guy in front of him. Be careful. Kyuubi's actions made Namikaze Minato subconsciously want to hug Naruto and leave without reacting. Snapped. Naruto frowned, and slapped Namikaze Minato's hand away. Then, under Bo Feng Shueimo's surprised eyes, he turned his head to look at Kyuubi. Calm down, 9 llamas, you should know that he is just a pawn. What's more, we can't arouse Konoha's vigilance yet. Converge chakra. Speaking of this, Naruto couldn't help but feel a little lucky. Fortunately, he didn't drop a few breath-holding talismans around the house, otherwise it would definitely arouse the vigilance of Konoha's senior management. Especially at this sensitive time when he just took the sealing scroll yesterday. At the same time, in Naruto's office. What? Sarutobi Hiruzen suddenly felt something, but that feeling was fleeting, he wasn't sure if it was his own illusion. Come on. 3 generations of adults. The 3 Anbu appeared instantly under Sarutobi's order. Did you find anything abnormal just now? Or did you feel anything? Hiruzuru Sarutobi frowned and asked. Reporting to the 3 generations of adults, the subordinates did not feel anything. The 3 Anbu thought about it, shook their heads and said. Really? Forget it, you guys go out. Sarutobi nodded and said. Yes. After speaking, the 3 turned and left through the window. Is my perception wrong? Could it be? 3 generations muttered to themselves, then shook their heads. In the sealed space. I see. After hearing Naruto's words, Kyuubi hesitated for a moment, and then restrained his chakra, got down on his body arrogantly, closed his eyes and fell asleep, out of sight and out of mind. As for Namikaze Minato, he looked at Naruto and then at Kyuubi, a trace of doubt flashed in his eyes. Ninetales did not riot, and there is no problem with the seal. It seems that Naruto tore up the spell himself. There is no illusion, but why? And Naruto's attitude towards me, he doesn't seem to know that I'm his father. Also, why does Naruto get along so well with Kyuubi? Even Kyuubi is willing to listen to Naruto. This is something that even a Jiu can't do. Although he thought so in his heart, Naruto looked at Naruto with a smile as warm as the sun, and said. Naruto, I am your father. I know. Naruto nodded. But so what? It doesn't matter to me whether you are my father or not. In their eyes I look like a fox, a monster. Namikaze Minato was stunned for a while, then said eagerly. Naruto, you are the child of me and Kushina. How could you be a demon fox? No, isn't this what it is? Naruto pointed to Ninetales. Cut. Kyuubi curled his lips in displeasure, but didn't say anything. But, okay, 4th Hokage, I didn't ask you to come out to discuss whether it's your son or the demon fox. Seeing that Minami Namikaze seemed to want to ask something, Naruto said directly. I understand. Well, Naruto, whatever you want, as long as I have it, I can give it to you. Namikaze Minato saw Naruto's impatience, sighed secretly and said. But thoughts keep turning. Naruto knew that I was his father, but he didn't want to admit it. and voluntarily bear the title of demon fox and monster. No, 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 it shouldn't be voluntary. Who would voluntarily be called demon fox and monster? So, is it forced? Naruto said before that he was a monster in the eyes of the villagers. Could it be that the 3 generations of adults didn't tell the villagers Naruto's identity? Quote, but the 3rd generation of adults promised that I would take good care of Naruto. Is there something wrong? Namikaze Minato didn't know about Naruto's experience. His chakra was placed in the seal, just to meet Naruto, but this is completely different from what he imagined. Wait, Naruto's clothes. Namikaze Minato suddenly noticed that there seemed to be something wrong with Naruto's clothes. The clothes are a little pale, with slight wrinkles. It looks like it has been washed many times, and it seems that some places have been repaired by myself, but why? As the son of the 4th generation of Hokage, even if he is dead, the legacy he and Kushina passed down in those years can completely allow Naruto to live a prosperous life. Not to mention that ninjas still have pensions. So, Naruto is having a bad day. Namikaze Minato quickly guessed the truth of the matter. Konoha did not tell the villagers Naruto's identity, and he and Kushina's property was not handed over to Naruto. It is even called a demon fox, and even its clothes are worn out. Is this how Konoha treats the son of a hero? He is my son. Namikaze Minato couldn't help clenching his fists tightly. If he could appear in reality now, he would definitely ask how Sarutobi Hiruzen treated his child. What are you thinking? Naruto looked at Namikaze Minato as if in a daze, and couldn't help frowning. What happened to his clothes? Ah, no, Naruto, what do you want to know? I can tell you. Namikaze Minato reacted and said quickly. I want to fly Thor. Naruto said directly. Flying Thor, no problem. Namikaze Minato agreed. As for asking Naruto why he needed Flying Thunder God. Just kidding, my son, the father must do his best to help. Thank you. Naruto was shocked by Namikaze Minato's refreshing. Although many netizens joked in the previous life that if Namikaze Minato and Uzumaki Kushina were resurrected and saw Naruto's life so miserable, they didn't need Uchiha Obito to take action, and the two would do it by themselves, destroy Konoha. But in fact, everyone knows that maybe Uzumaki Kushina will really do this, but Namikaze Minato, as the 4th Hokage, will definitely stand in Konoha's perspective and will never destroy Konoha. Even Chu-yun, Naruto's predecessor, thought so. But now it seems that Namikaze Minato's love for his son is as much as Konoha, or even above Konoha. Of course, it is also possible that Naruto did not think in the direction of Naruto's desire to destroy Konoha. But this possibility is too low. Namikaze Minato is not a fool, otherwise he would not be able to take the seat of the 4th Hokage. He probably already guessed it. You don't need to say thank you to me. No matter what, Naruto, you are my son. Namikaze Minato smiled at Naruto, a smile as warm as the sun. Besides, you must have had a bad time these years, right? Naruto, I'm sorry. Naruto was silent for a moment, and he couldn't help recalling what Minato and Kushina said to him before he died when he was born. Naruto, don't be picky eaters, eat more, and grow up quickly. Remember to take a bath on time every day. Soak in the bath to warm up. Also, don't stay up late, and make sure you sleep. Remember to make friends. You don't need many friends, just a few truly trustworthy friends are enough. Also, although my mother is not good at it, you have to study hard at homework and ninjutsu, but everyone is good at it and not good at it. Even if you encounter difficulties in learning, don't be too disappointed. At school, you must respect your teachers and seniors. Ah, there is another important thing. Regarding the 3 prohibitions of ninjas, especially money lending, you must be cautious, and save the income of the task. You must drink alcohol after the age of 20. Excessive drinking is harmful to the body, so be careful. And the key issue in the 3 prohibition is women. I don't understand that my mother is a woman. In short, there are only women and men in this world. Although you will be interested in women, please remember, don't be seduced by strange women. Go find a woman like your mother. Also, when it comes to the 3 prohibitions, there is one more thing. You have to be more careful, Mr. Zillai. Naruto, you will encounter many painful and sad things in the future. You must firmly maintain yourself and have dreams. Moreover, I still have the confidence to realize my dreams. In fact, there are more things I want to teach you, and I want to be with you all the time. I love you. Sorry Minato, I'm the only one talking. Quote, Naruto, Dad's words are the same as your long-winded mother. Call. Naruto took a deep breath, and the trace of resentment in his heart dissipated. In fact, Namikaze Minato did nothing wrong, he just overestimated Konoha. There is nothing to talk about in the past. Now, I hope you can hand over the complete Flying Thunder God to me. Naruto shook his head. It's totally fine, it's just, my current body can't last long. Namikaze Minato showed a wry smile. He also wanted to watch Naruto grow up, but he was just a chakra after all. Simple thing. Naruto said something indifferently, and then moved his right hand with a chi innately, outlining a strange rune in the air. Solid rune. Converter. The solid talisman can fix your chakra, and the conversion talisman can convert the chakra overflowed by the 9 lamas into the energy that maintains your existence. Naruto explained while drawing a talisman. The talisman that touches the spirit is already the most advanced talisman he can master so far, and it is a bit difficult to draw it. What are you talking about? You're just kidding me. Kyuubi's eyes widened, and he said incredulously, what a joke, this man is his sealed enemy. Naruto turned his overflowing chakra into the energy of the opponent's existence. How does it feel like I'm helping him? No way. 9 lamas began to desperately control the overflowing chakra back into the body, but don't think about it, 9 lamas, you are a big chakra collection, how can you collect it? Moreover, you should have known that when you are upset, chakra will continue to emit. You saw that the murderer who sealed you was borrowing your chakra to survive. Do you have other emotions besides unhappiness and anger? Quote. After Naruto pasted the talisman on Namikaze Minato, he turned his head and looked at Kurama who kept recycling chakras and couldn't help but smile and said, are you plotting against me? Kyuubi's eyes widened. Poisonous. This brat is too poisonous. It's enough to be considerate of you. Before, I was thinking of asking you to take the initiative to lend him some chakra. Naruto rolled his eyes. Don't even think about it. Kyuubi said without hesitation. So I used the second method. Naruto spread his hands and said, cut. Kyuubi curled his lips in displeasure, and then saw that annoying blonde man. Chakra started to riot. Then, what it overflowed was that chakra was sucked into Namikaze Minato's body by a strange energy, and then merged into it, and Namikaze Minato's body became more obvious. Namikaze Minato twitched his mouth, he somehow felt a little guilty towards Kyuubi. Depend on. 9 Lama cursed secretly. I don't want to say that, but thanks, 9 Tails. Humph. Kyuubi snorted coldly. What else could it do? If it wasn't for Naruto's strange methods, it wouldn't do such a thing. Okay, 4th generation, can I trouble you to write down Fei Rai Shen now? Naruto manifested a blank scroll and said to Namikaze Minato. Do you just need to fly Thunder God? Naruto. In fact, I know a lot of ninjutsu, and the practice of ninjutsu is not easy. I can also teach you how to practice. Namikaze Minato's result scroll asked. Flying Thunder God is enough. As for other ninjutsu, I still have all the forbidden techniques in the Book of Seals in my memory. Naruto directly rejected Namikaze Minato's request. He didn't need others to teach him ninjutsu. He inherited the talent of Namikaze Minato ninjutsu, plus he has been exposed to talisman and Taoism that are hundreds of times more complicated than ninjutsu. There is not much difficulty in his eyes. Except for a few, most of the knots are different vertically, otherwise how could Sharingan know it at a glance? It is nothing more than memorizing the seal and releasing it. Okay. Namikaze Minato nodded with a wry smile. It seems that taking time to get Naruto's approval is not going to work. Forget it, let's write down Fei Raijin honestly. As for why Naruto got the sealed book, he didn't bother to guess, so what if he read it? By the way, 4th generation, why is there no Flying Thunder God in the Book of Seals? Naruto has been puzzled by this question, it makes no sense. I don't know about this. I learned the Flying Thunder God technique in the Book of Seals back then, and there is also the second Hokage's comment on Flying Thunder God on it. Namikaze Minato stopped writing and shook his head. Then my thinking is probably right. Either Sarutobi or Danzo. I am afraid that the next Namikaze Minato will appear. Sarutobi has been in Hokage for so many years, even if he still has desire for power, it is unlikely that he will directly erase Flying Thunder God. It should be Danzo. This old thing is obsessed with Hokage, and he must be afraid that someone will compete with him for the position of Hokage. There was a hint of disdain in Naruto's eyes. In his eyes, no matter how mysterious and great Hokage is, he is just the head of a village. There is no need for you to fight for such a position. What? Just when Naruto sighed secretly, he suddenly felt a powerful chakra rushing towards him. Sarutobi Hiruzen, what is he doing here? Could it be that he noticed the Nine Tails chakra? It shouldn't be possible. My room is full of breath-holding charms. Except for special perception-type ninjas among the shadows, it is impossible to perceive it. And Sarutobi Hiruzen is now barely considered a Kage-level strength, how could he perceive it? There is still a chance of his prime. Quote. Naruto frowned. Did he really miscalculate? I'll go out first. Naruto greeted Kyuubi, and then left the sealed world. TCH, brat, you've been so familiar since you were a child. Ju Lama let out a breath, and then accidentally saw the annoying guy with blonde hair. Look at the fart. If it weren't for Naruto, I would kill you. Ha ha. Namikaze Minato smiled warmly at Kyuubi, with an obvious meaning. What do you think? Oh, don't use Flying Thunder God if you have the ability. I'll bombard you with a tailed beast. The pupils of the nine-tailed beast dilated slightly, and its anger made its chakra riot again, and was then transformed into energy to maintain existence by Namikaze Minato. Ha ha. Namikaze Minato's smile towards Kyuubi became even brighter, and there was even a trace of gratitude, sarcasm, that Kyuubi could see. Convex. Kyuubi closed his eyes. What the hell, what a fart. Namikaze Minato suppressed his smile, a thought flashed in his eyes, then he turned around and disappeared into the seal. He wanted to know what Naruto was doing now. At the same time, bang bang bang. Naruto, are you there? I am your third-generation grandfather, open the door. In the end, Hiruzuru Sarutobi was still a little worried about the trace of worry. He couldn't even calm down about handling government affairs. Plus today was the last time he paid Naruto's living expenses, so he planned to come out to relax, and by the way, strengthen Naruto's relationship with Mu-Leaf loyalty. Squeak. Grandfather of the third generation, why are you here? Naruto opened the door with a doubtful face, and looked at Hiruza Sarutobi curiously. Let Grandpa go in first, okay. Sarutobi didn't answer, but asked gently. Of course, please come in, Grandpa of the third generation. Naruto nodded, and opened the door wide for Sarutobi to enter. Ah, Yuan Fei entered the door, and he was not polite, and sat directly on the wooden chair that Naruto had made. Grandfather of the third generation, come, please drink tea. Naruto poured a glass of water for Hiru Sarutobi. No need, Naruto, I'll just sit down and leave. Sarutobi patted Naruto's head kindly. He was very satisfied with Naruto's attitude. He has done so many things, didn't he just hope that Naruto can follow the path he wants? Now it seems that I made the right choice at the beginning, although I feel sorry for Minato, but everything is for Konoha. Thinking this way in his heart, Sarutobi felt much less guilty towards the Minato couple. Come on, Naruto, this is your next month's and final living expenses, 3,000 taels, you are already a ninja, and you can complete tasks to earn commissions in the future. Understood. Thank you 3 generations of Grandpa. Naruto smiled and took the envelope. Hiruzuru Sarutobi nodded, chatted with Naruto for a while, and left satisfied. Goodbye, 3 generations of Grandpa. Naruto waved at Hiruzuru Sarutobi at the door and said. Boom. As soon as the door was closed, Naruto's expression instantly became calm and indifferent. He casually threw the envelope containing 3,000 taels aside. Such a disguise, there will be no next time. Being used to pretending doesn't mean you like it. No one likes to wear a mask for himself. However, soon, he will be able to please, such a day. A trace of sarcasm appeared on the corner of Naruto's mouth, and then he went back to the bed, ready to enter the seal. Sealing the space, Namikaze Minato appeared in the original position, but his face was slightly flushed. He was angry. 3,000 taels of living expenses. What the hell? Whose living expenses are only 3,000 taels these days? Do you really think Naruto is an orphan, a survivor? And the subsidies for survivors and orphans shouldn't be so small, right? What can 3,000 taels do? How many bowls of ramen do you have? How many can I to buy? This can be called pocket money at best. Can it be counted as living expenses? So what does Naruto usually eat? Wild vegetables, or worthless vegetables, or poor quality meat that cannot be sold? Where are the clothes? Not to mention clothes, just slightly better fabrics cost more than 3,000 taels, right? And Naruto has to guarantee the food. No wonder Naruto's clothes felt like they had been modified. What kind of clothes can I wear for 3,000 taels? Where's my and Kushina's money? Not to mention property, there should be death allowances, right? Where is the money? Where did you go? Also, what is this cabin? What about my and Kushina's house? If the property is not given, even the house is taken away, right? Is this how Konoha treats my son? With him and Kushina guarding Konoha with their lives, that's what Konoha does. That's how Sarutobi Hiruzen promised me to take good care of Naruto. That's it. That's it. If they weren't already dead, one of them counted as one, and they were all going to die. Namikaze Minato's eyes were bloodshot. Naruto's life was 10 times more difficult than he imagined. 100 times. Kushina still has a trace of chakra in the seal, but does Minato Namikaze dare to let her out now? Can he let Kushina meet such Naruto? After all, he promised to live well back then. Women are inherently weak, but mothers are strong. What's more, Ju Shinai's heroic spirit is not inferior to men. If she sees her son living a life without food and clothing, then anger, endless anger raged ragingly in Namikaze Minato's heart. Hey, what's wrong? Why does our great fourth Hokage look so unhappy? Kyuubi now feels that he is in a very happy mood. What makes a fox happier than seeing regret, anger, and guilt on the face of his sealed enemy? But this guy is really smart, he seems to have guessed everything. Sure enough, what Naruto said is right, he has a dark heart for playing politics, and his Namikaze Minato is not a simple guy. 9 tails, don't be weird here. Namikaze Minato said coldly. Are you teaching me how to do things? Are my words bothering you? You should thank me. Do you know that without me, Naruto would have died long ago? Kyuubi said mockingly. Naruto has not had a good life since he was born, he is bullied and abused every day. If it weren't for the inhuman resilience it brought to Naruto, it's really hard to say whether Naruto can live to this day. Can you tell me how Naruto has lived these years? Namikaze Minato closed his eyes and took a deep breath, then said calmly to Kyuubi. Is this how you beg for help? Kyuubi glanced sideways at Minato Namikaze and said proudly. Call, 9 tails, I beg you to tell me. Namikaze Minato lowered his head and said respectfully. He didn't want to do this, but he was Naruto's father. If it wasn't for his attitude of looking up to Konoha, Naruto would not live a life worse than that of ordinary people. This is his fault. If there is a mistake, it must be corrected. Forget it, it's boring. 9 tails pouted, and got down on the ground again. I won't tell you, until Naruto admits you are his father. You. Namikaze Minato gritted his teeth and clenched his fist. After a few seconds, he let go. I see. After finishing speaking, Namikaze Minato continued to take out the scroll to write Fei Lei Shen, and the trembling between the pens described the unrest in his heart. 9 llamas, why did you affect the sealed space just now? Didn't you do anything unnecessary? Naruto's first sentence after answering the sealed space was to ask Kyuubi. When he was about to enter the sealed space just now, he found that he couldn't get in. In addition, Namikaze Minato was also inside, and he suspected that Kurama might have said something to him. Although he didn't mind, there was always a feeling of being miserable inside. Don't worry, don't you know the old man's character? You didn't say anything. Kyuubi said without opening his eyes. It's because I know your character that I doubt it. Well, really. Naruto shook his head sighing. Naruto, you. Namikaze Minato wanted to say something, but Naruto interrupted directly. There's no need to talk about those things, and I will take revenge myself. Naruto said, okay, here, this is the Flying Thunder God, and my experience is on it. With your aptitude, I believe you can learn it soon. Namikaze Minato smiled wryly, then handed the written scroll to Naruto. Thanks. After Naruto finished speaking, he left the sealed space directly. He already got the things, so why stay here? Can we talk now, 9 tails? After a long time, it was determined that Naruto would not come back again. Namikaze Minato looked at Kyuubi and said, "Shish, keep your voice down, let me make sure of the situation." Kyuubi glared at Namikaze Minato, then closed his eyes to experience Naruto's current situation, using the technique of multiple shadow clones to comprehend the technique of flying Raijin, it should be no problem. Take it and see for yourself. Kyuubi condensed a red light ball between his eyebrows, and then sent it to Namikaze Minato's hands. Namikaze Minato didn't hesitate and put his hand on it. "Demon Fox, why does my mother come to take care of you? A little beast, drink, you won't be burned to death." A woman pretending to be a nanny showed a ferocious face, and poured hot milk into the mouth of Naruto when he was a child. "Whoa whoa whoa whoa," Naruto cried loudly with tears. Sure enough, it's the demon fox, who hasn't died after suffering so many injuries. But, that's the best. I want to torture you bit by bit, making your life worse than death. Otherwise, how will the anger of my Kawakami family be appeased? With a crazy smile, a middle-aged man in a bottle kept cutting and slashing Naruto's body with a kunai. Blood flowed all over the ground. Half a sound later, when Naruto was about to die, he was finally discovered by Anbu and arrested. In hospital, I really don't know why the 3 generations of adults asked us to save this monster. If it wasn't for him, how could my husband die? Snapped. A nurse ruthlessly threw Naruto to the ground. Okay, it's enough to beat him to relieve his anger. Don't really beat him to death, it would be bad if the 3 generations of adults blamed him. A nurse pulled her away to persuade. HMPH, if it wasn't for the 3rd generation of adults, I would have killed this little fool. Beast. Who isn't? Eat, this is your meal for today. And Anbu handed the food to Naruto, which contained rice mixed with sand and no side dishes. Unfortunately, if the milk is not expired, do you think I will sell it to you? A food shop owner said to Naruto with a look of disgust. I said, there is nothing for you here, get out of here, and don't block my business. You bloody monster, get out. Look, that guy is a demon fox, we are heroes if we kill him. Several children gathered together to beat Naruto, throwing stones and taking weapons. After Naruto was beaten to the point of bleeding, he left contentedly and happily told his parents that he had beaten the monster. Awesome. The parents praised their children, and the children smiled proudly. My lord, why do the villagers hate me so much? I obviously didn't do anything. Naruto looked at Hiruzen Sarutobi aggrievedly, hoping he could give him an answer. Naruto, you have to believe that the villagers just misunderstood you, and you have to forgive them. As long as you are loyal to Konoha wholeheartedly and work hard for Konoha's peace, one day, they will recognize you. Hiruzen Sarutobi's eyes shone brightly, and comforted Naruto. Scenes flashed in Namikaze Minato's memory, and finally stayed completely at the moment when Naruto was sent to the hospital again. Oh, what's wrong, my great 4th Hokage-sama? Why does it look so painful? Kyuubi said to Namikaze Minato strangely. It can't understand Namikaze Minato's painful and lonely expression now. Obviously everything was caused by him. If he didn't die, why did Naruto end up in such a state? Namikaze Minato rare no rebuttal. Just like what Kyuubi thought, if he didn't die, even if Kyuubi was really sealed into Naruto's body, who would dare to show any prejudice against Naruto? But, he's dead. What happened next? Namikaze Minato's eyes were red, and there was a trace of sadness in his tone. Don't think about it later. Since Naruto has cultivated a strange energy, I can't see things outside through him unless he allows it. Of course, it is still possible in general. Kyuubi said lazily. Strange energy, immortal chakra, or what? Namikaze Minato asked. How do I know? It's not chakra anyway, it's a bit similar to Shanshu chakra, but there's a big difference. I don't know how to explain it, it's different anyway. If you want to know, you can ask him yourself. Kyuubi said, shaking his hair. Forget it, I'm sorry Naruto. Namikaze Minato closed his eyes and said in a daze, Naruto's experience completely exceeded his imagination. Sarutobi and the others also took great pains to create a dog that is completely loyal to Konoha. When Naruto was completely disappointed in Konoha, he was Sarutobi Hiruzen to be the first beam of light. Then spread the so-called will of fire, and then step by step turn Naruto into Konoha's loyalist until he completely becomes Konoha's dog. It's so poisonous, my lord 3 generations. Namikaze Minato said fiercely. how could he fail to see through Konoha's plan with his wisdom? You should also see that Naruto will definitely be on the opposite side of Konoha in the future, so what is your choice? Kyuubi asked interestingly. Although Namikaze Minato's opinion was not important, it still wanted to hear which side the great fourth Hokage, who died for Konoha, would choose between his son and the villagers. Naruto is my son, and I support everything he does. Namikaze Minato said lightly. Is Konoha nice to him? In fact, it's not very good, he has won everything by himself. The one who is most grateful is Mr. Jiraiya. As for Sarutobi. Sorry, just because of what he did to Naruto, he wanted to kill Sarutobi 3,000 times. Well, it has nothing to do with me. Kyuubi smacked his mouth twice, and said boringly, but there was a little more approval for Minato Namikaze in his eyes. 3 days in a flash. In the original book, I don't really remember that Naruto graduated a few days after stealing the Book of Seals. Let's take it as the 4th day. After all, it takes time to comprehend Flying Thunder God and other ninjutsu, although there are multiple shadows. Hoo is a bit uncomfortable. Naruto was panting heavily. His face was full of exhaustion, he barely supported his body, the training memories of dozens of avatars just now were stuffed into his brain, it was so painful. Even imagining it makes people feel a little terrified. Now I really understand why the multiple shadow clone is a forbidden technique. The pain at that moment is really. Naruto shook his head, trying not to recall the feeling just now. He didn't know how Naruto in the original book endured it. However, although it is painful, the effect is very obvious. With the help of Flying Thunder God Kunai, you can already use Flying Thunder God's technique, and you also have some understanding of space. Speaking of Naruto, he couldn't help showing some excitement on his face. I don't know if the Bofang clan really has a strong talent in space, and even can suppress the blood of the vortex, but one thing is true, that is, his progress in the Flying Thunder God technique can be said to be rapid. Of course, the careful teaching of Namikaze Minato, the daily practice of dozens of shadow clones, the recovery of his body by the 9 lamas and the vortex physique, and the help of the innate energy that constantly replenishes his spirit are useless to him, verbally expressed. Otherwise, no matter what, he would not be able to fly to Thunder God within 3 days. The difficulty of space ninjutsu, looking at the entire Hokage, except for the 2nd generation of Senju Banma and the 4th generation of Namikaze Minato, who else learned it through practice. Almost all rely on Sharingan. Spiritualism does not count. However, I didn't expect that the value of Flying Thunder God Kunwu is so low in your eyes. A little energy point can be exchanged for 10. As Naruto said, he also got a Flying Raijin Kunai exchanged from the system. He couldn't understand this at all. 1 energy point only needs to kill an ordinary person, but it can be exchanged for 10 Flying Raijin Kunai. What a bargain. Ding, after testing, there is nothing wrong with the system's price tag. According to the law of Wagwo, the world where the host is located, gold has a price, but life is priceless, life is precious, and each life can only be judged once. The system replied solemnly, forget it, I really can't refute it. Naruto twitched his lips, did he become cruel? And many more. In the world of Naruto, use Wagwo's values, what a great official system. Then can you explain why a priceless life is only worth 0.1-1 energy point in your eyes? Ding, because the highest value of ordinary humans without extraordinary abilities is 1 point, this system uses the highest price. The system said affirmatively. I should also thank you. You have priced the lives of ordinary people so high. Naruto said speechlessly. Ding, the main reason is that the ordinary people killed by the host are young children, with strong vitality, and they don't have extraordinary abilities, so they can only be calculated by vitality, therefore, they are the highest. Said the system. You're right, I'm too lazy to talk to you. Naruto shook his head. The introduction to Fei Lei Shen let him understand the tip of the iceberg of space. Although it was not much, it represented that he was qualified to release the slightly advanced space-related talismans among the Schwanman talismans. It's not much to say that it's advanced, it's just a talisman like the Sumina ring. To put it simply, it is to integrate the Sumeru talisman into a ring, pocket or even a scroll, and create a small talisman inside that cannot allow life to enter space, so as to achieve the effect of accepting objects. Tomorrow will be divided into classes, the 7th class. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.